The first rays of dawn break across the Giza Plateau, painting the ancient stones in shades of gold and amber. Sand shifts quietly in the morning breeze, carrying with it the whispers of millennia. 3 colossal monuments pierce the horizon-silent sentinels that have watched over this desert for longer than any living memory can reach. The Great Pyramid of Khufu rises before us, its massive limestone blocks catching the light like a beacon calling across time. Each stone, some weighing as much as 15 tons, fits together with precision that would challenge modern engineers. The pyramid's base covers 13 acres, and its original height of 481 feet made it the tallest structure on Earth for over 3,000 years. Picture yourself standing at the base of this monument in the pre-dawn darkness. The desert air is cool against your skin, and overhead, the same stars that guided ancient astronomers still wheel in their eternal dance. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of light, and somewhere in that cosmic tapestry lie the answers to questions humanity has asked for generations. What force could move mountains of stone with such mathematical precision? What intelligence could encode the measurements of Earth itself into the very architecture of these monuments? The conventional story speaks of pharaohs and dynasties, of human ambition carved in limestone and granite. But as the morning light reveals the impossible perfection of these ancient structures, another possibility whispers through the desert wind. The pyramids hold their secrets close. No hieroglyphs mark their interior walls. No inscriptions proclaim their builders' names. They stand as riddles written in stone, challenges left for future civilizations to decode. And in their silence, they ask the question that has haunted human imagination since we first looked up at the stars and wondered if we were alone. The sand beneath these monuments has shifted and swirled for thousands of years, yet the pyramids remain unchanged. They are anchors in time, fixed points in a world of constant motion. Their creators, whoever they were, built not just for their own age, but for ours and for ages yet to come. As the sun climbs higher, the shadows of the pyramids sweep across the desert like the hands of a cosmic clock. Time moves differently here, measured not in hours or days, but in epochs. The civilization that raised these stones has long since crumbled to dust, but their monuments endure, patient and eternal. The question hangs in the desert air, like heat shimmer on the horizon. Did human hands alone create these marvels? Did our ancestors, working with rope and copper tools, somehow achieve what seems impossible even today? Or did they have help guidance from visitors who understood the secrets of the cosmos in ways we are only beginning to grasp? The pyramids offer no easy answers. They challenge us to expand our understanding of what was possible in the ancient world. They force us to consider possibilities that stretch the boundaries of conventional archaeology and history. They invite us to imagine a past more mysterious and wondrous than textbooks dare to suggest. The desert wind picks up, carrying with it grains of sand that have witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Each grain holds memories of the builders who labored here, of the stones that were quarried and transported across impossible distances, of the moment when the final capstone was placed and these monuments were complete. But the wind carries more than memories. It carries questions that echo across the centuries, demanding answers that may reshape our understanding of human history itself. The pyramids stand ready to share their secrets with those bold enough to ask the right questions, and brave enough to accept answers that might change everything we thought we knew about our past. The golden light of morning bathes the ancient stones, and in that light, the impossible becomes possible. The mythical becomes real, and the whispers of the desert grow loud enough for modern ears to hear. Meanwhile, in the halls of universities and museums around the world, Egyptologists have spent centuries assembling the accepted narrative of pyramid construction. Their story unfolds not through speculation or mystery, but through careful excavation, meticulous documentation, and the patient work of translating ancient texts. According to mainstream archaeology, The Great Pyramid was built during the 4th dynasty of Egypt's Old Kingdom, approximately 4,500 years ago. Pharaoh Khufu commissioned this monument as his eternal resting place, a divine bridge between the earthly realm and the afterlife, where he would join the gods among the stars. The construction process, as scholars understand it, was a marvel of organization and human determination. Archaeological evidence from nearby workers' villages reveals a sophisticated infrastructure designed to support the massive undertaking. Bakeries capable of producing thousands of loaves daily fed the workforce. Breweries provided beer safer to drink than water in the ancient world. Medical facilities treated injuries, and administrative buildings coordinated the complex logistics of moving millions of tons of stone. Recent excavations have uncovered the remains of these workers themselves. Their skeletons tell stories of hard labor-compressed spines, enlarged muscle attachments, and healed fractures that speak to lives spent in service to the pharaoh's vision. But these were not slaves, as Hollywood depictions might suggest. They were skilled craftsmen, organized in crews with names like Friends of Khufu and Drunkards of Menkaure. Logistics of construction follow patterns familiar to modern project managers. Limestone blocks were quarried locally from the Giza Plateau itself, creating the very foundation upon which the pyramids rest. Granite for the interior chambers came from Aswan, 600 miles to the south, transported down the Nile on specially constructed barges during the annual flood season. Egyptologists point to evidence of the tools used in construction: copper chisels, wooden levers, rope, and ramps. Experimental archaeology has demonstrated how teams of workers could move massive blocks using these simple implements. Ramps spiraling around the growing pyramid would have provided access to higher levels, while careful planning ensured that each stone was cut to precise specifications before installation. The mathematical precision of the pyramids, while impressive, falls within the capabilities of ancient Egyptian surveyors and architects. The builders possessed sophisticated knowledge of geometry and astronomy, developed through centuries of temple construction and agricultural planning. The alignment with cardinal directions required only careful observation of the stars, techniques well within their technological reach. Ancient papyri discovered at Wadi al-Jarf provide contemporary accounts of pyramid construction. These documents, dating to Khufu's reign, describe the transportation of limestone blocks from quarries to the pyramid site. They read like mundane shipping manifests, prosaic records of an extraordinary undertaking. The workforce required for construction was substantial but not impossible. Estimates suggest 20,000 to 30,000 workers labored on the project during the peak construction season, when Nile floods freed agricultural workers for other tasks. This army of builders included quarrymen, transporters, masons, supervisors, and support staff, a temporary city devoted to a single monumental purpose. Centuries of study have revealed the incremental development of pyramid construction techniques. Earlier pharaohs experimented with different approaches, learning through trial and error. The step pyramid of Djoser demonstrated the possibility of monumental stone construction. The bent pyramid of Sneferu revealed the dangers of inadequate foundations. Each project contributed knowledge that culminated in the perfection achieved at Giza. The religious significance of the pyramids provides the motivation for such massive undertakings. Ancient Egyptians believed in the divine nature of kingship and the necessity of proper burial for royal resurrection. The pyramid was not merely a tomb, but a machine for transformation, enabling the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife and ensuring his continued protection of Egypt. This mainstream narrative, built on decades of archaeological research, presents the pyramids as remarkable but entirely human achievements. It celebrates the ingenuity, organization, and determination of ancient Egyptian civilization while remaining firmly grounded in evidence and historical context. Yet as we examine this accepted story more closely, questions begin to emerge around its edges, questions that will challenge us to look beyond the comfortable certainties of textbook explanations. As the sun reaches its zenith over Giza, casting sharp shadows that reveal every joint and angle of the ancient masonry, a troubling question emerges from the desert heat. The precision before us seems to mock the simple tools that archaeologists claim built these monuments. Could copper chisels and rope really have achieved such mathematical perfection? The Great Pyramid's base measurements reveal a level of accuracy that challenges our understanding of ancient capabilities. Each side measures approximately 756 feet, with variations of less than 2 inches. The right angles at each corner deviate by mere minutes of arc. The entire structure aligns with true north to within 3/60th of a degree, precision that would impress modern surveyors working with laser instruments. Consider the weight of individual blocks. While most limestone stones weigh between 2 and 15 tons, the granite blocks in the King's Chamber exceed 70 tons each. These massive monoliths were somehow lifted nearly 300 feet above ground level and positioned with millimeter precision. The gaps between stones are so tight that a knife blade cannot slip between them, yet no mortar holds them in place. Modern engineers have calculated that moving such blocks would require cranes capable of lifting nearly 100 tons. The largest crane available to ancient Egyptians, according to mainstream archaeology, consisted of wooden levers and human muscle power. The mathematical impossibility grows more apparent with each calculation. The internal passages of the pyramid present additional puzzles. The Grand Gallery rises at a precise 26-degree angle, its corbelled ceiling demonstrating architectural sophistication that wouldn't be seen again for thousands of years. The granite sarcophagus in the King's Chamber is larger than the passage leading to it, suggesting it was installed during construction. But how was such a massive stone box maneuvered through the narrow confines of the pyramid's interior? Temperature measurements taken within the pyramid reveal another mystery. The interior maintains a constant temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit, regardless of external weather conditions. This natural air conditioning system suggests an understanding of thermodynamics that conventional history attributes to much later periods. The acoustic properties of the pyramid's chambers create another layer of intrigue. Sound behaves strangely within these ancient walls. The King's Chamber resonates at specific frequencies, and whispers in the Grand Gallery carry with perfect clarity across impossible distances. Were these effects intentional, designed by architects who understood principles of acoustics that modern science has only recently discovered? Microscopic analysis of the pyramid stones reveals tool marks that don't match any known ancient implements. Some blocks show evidence of cutting with diamond-tipped saws. Others bear the marks of drilling equipment that could penetrate granite at speeds modern machinery struggles to match. Geologist Robert Schoch has documented these anomalies, noting that the precision of the cuts suggests technology far beyond anything archaeology has attributed to ancient Egypt. The transportation of materials presents equally perplexing challenges. The granite used in the pyramid's interior chambers came from quarries at Aswan, over 500 miles away. Moving these massive blocks down the Nile and then overland to Giza would have required engineering capabilities that mainstream archaeology insists didn't exist. Even more mysterious are the blocks that show no evidence of quarrying at all. Some stones appear to have been poured or molded rather than cut, their composition suggesting a form of ancient concrete or Giapollinar technology. French scientist Joseph Davidovits has proposed that many pyramid blocks were actually cast in place using a lost chemical process. But this theory challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient Egyptian capabilities. The precision extends beyond individual stones to the overall structure. The pyramid's height, when multiplied by 43,200, equals the polar radius of Earth. Its perimeter, multiplied by the same number, equals Earth's circumference at the equator. These mathematical relationships suggest knowledge of Earth's dimensions that would not be formally calculated again until the 18th century. Alternative researchers point to these impossibilities as evidence of intervention by advanced intelligences. They argue that the precision, scale, and sophistication of the pyramids exceed anything achievable with primitive tools and human labor alone. The monuments, they suggest, required guidance from beings who possessed knowledge of engineering, mathematics, and physics far beyond ancient human capabilities. The debate intensifies when we consider that no other civilization in history has duplicated the pyramid's perfection. Despite thousands of years of technological advancement, modern attempts to recreate pyramid construction techniques using ancient tools have met with limited success. If humans built these monuments using primitive methods, why haven't we been able to replicate their achievements? The question hangs in the desert air, like the heat shimmer itself, distorting our perception of what was possible in the ancient world. Were the pyramid builders working within the limitations of their time, or did they have access to knowledge and technology that history has forgotten? Centuries earlier, as ancient mathematicians traced patterns in sand and stone, they may have discovered truths that modern science has only recently begun to appreciate. The pyramids of Giza encode mathematical relationships so precise, so sophisticated, that their very existence challenges our understanding of ancient knowledge. Within the limestone and granite of the Great Pyramid lie numbers that speak to cosmic order. The structure embodies pi, that mysterious ratio between a circle S circumference and its diameter, with an accuracy that astounds mathematicians. The pyramid S height relates to its base perimeter in almost exactly the same ratio as a circle S. Radius relates to its circumference. This mathematical relationship, essential to advanced geometry, wasn't formally described by Greek mathematicians until thousands of years later. The golden ratio, that perfect proportion found throughout nature and revered by artists and architects, appears repeatedly in the pyramid's design. The relationship between the pyramid S height and the base of its triangular face expresses this ratio with remarkable precision. Ancient builders somehow encoded the same mathematical principle that governs the spiral of nautilus shells, the arrangement of sunflower seeds, and the proportions of the human body. But the mathematical mysteries extend far beyond individual ratios. The base perimeter of the Great Pyramid, when divided by its height, yields a number virtually identical to pi multiplied by 2. The odds of this occurring by chance are astronomically small. Either ancient builders possessed mathematical knowledge that history has failed to record, or they received guidance from sources with advanced understanding of cosmic mathematics. The encoding of Earth's dimensions within the pyramid's measurements presents an even more startling puzzle. Consider the implications of such knowledge. To calculate Earth's dimensions with the accuracy reflected in the pyramid S design would require understanding that our planet is spherical, knowledge of its circumference and polar radius, and mathematical techniques for scaling these measurements to architectural proportions. Mainstream history suggests such knowledge didn't exist until much later. Civilizations developed advanced astronomy and mathematics. The pyramid's alignment with cardinal directions demonstrates astronomical precision that requires careful observation and calculation. The structure faces true north with an accuracy that varies by less than 0.015 degrees. Achieving such precision would require tracking stellar movements over extended periods and compensating for the precession of Earth's axis knowledge that implies sophisticated understanding of planetary mechanics. The internal chambers reveal additional mathematical relationships. The king's chamber dimensions follow a 1:2:5 ratio that creates perfect harmonic resonance. The chamber's volume, calculated in ancient Egyptian units, corresponds precisely to mathematical constants found throughout the structure. These relationships suggest intentional design based on advanced acoustic and geometric principles. The Grand Gallery incorporates mathematical progressions that mirror numerical sequences found in nature. Its corbelled ceiling follows patterns that anticipate architectural techniques not seen again until medieval cathedral construction. The precision of these architectural elements suggests mathematical knowledge that conventional history attributes to much later periods. Measurements throughout the pyramid system reveal consistent use of mathematical constants that would not be formally identified until modern times. The structures incorporate relationships between pi, phi, the golden ratio, and the square root of 5 in ways that seem too sophisticated for coincidence. These mathematical principles appear in combinations that suggest systematic knowledge rather than accidental discovery. The positioning of the three Giza pyramids reveals additional geometric sophistication. Their layout follows mathematical principles that create harmonic relationships between the structures. The distances between pyramids, their relative heights, and their angular relationships all conform to patterns that suggest coordinated design based on advanced mathematical understanding. Analysis of the pyramid complex reveals incorporation of the Fibonacci sequence, that mathematical progression found throughout natural systems. The relationships between different structural elements follow this sequence with remarkable consistency, suggesting builders understood mathematical principles that govern organic growth and natural harmony. The precision of these mathematical relationships raises profound questions about the source of ancient Egyptian knowledge. Did builders discover these principles through generations of observation and calculation? Did they inherit mathematical wisdom from earlier, lost civilizations? Or did they receive instruction from visitors who already understood the mathematical principles governing cosmic order? Modern mathematicians studying the pyramids continue to discover new numerical relationships encoded within their structure. Computer analysis reveals layers of mathematical sophistication that seem to exceed the capabilities attributed to ancient civilizations. Each new discovery deepens the mystery rather than resolving it. The mathematical precision of the pyramids suggests intention beyond mere architectural achievement. These monuments appear designed to preserve and transmit mathematical knowledge across millennia. They function as textbooks written in stone, encoding cosmic mathematics for future civilizations to discover and decode. As we contemplate these mathematical mysteries, we must consider whether such sophisticated knowledge could emerge naturally within ancient Egyptian civilization, or whether it suggests influence from sources with advanced understanding of cosmic mathematics, sources that may not have been entirely human. But another possibility emerges when we lift our eyes from terrestrial mathematics to the eternal dance of stars overhead. The night sky above Giza holds patterns that mirror the monuments below with precision that transcends coincidence, suggesting connections between Earth and cosmos that challenge conventional understanding of ancient astronomy. The three pyramids of Giza align with striking accuracy to the three stars of Orion's belt Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka. This correlation, first popularized by Robert Bauval in his Orion correlation theory, suggests that ancient builders intentionally recreated a stellar pattern in stone. The relative positions, sizes, and brightness of the stars correspond remarkably to the layout and proportions of the pyramids. The precision of this stellar alignment becomes more intriguing when we consider the effects of precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis that causes star patterns to shift position over thousands of years. Computer modeling reveals that the pyramids match Orion's belt most precisely not as the stars appear today, but as they appeared around 10,500 BCE, thousands of years before conventional dating places pyramid construction. Ancient Egyptian texts provide context for this stellar obsession. The pyramid texts, among humanity's oldest religious writings, identify the pharaoh's soul with Osiris, the god associated with Orion. These sacred documents describe the king's journey after death to join Osiris among the stars, specifically in the constellation Egyptians called Sahu, what we know as Orion. The astronomical knowledge required for such precise stellar modeling suggests sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics. Ancient Egyptian astronomers would need to track star movements across generations, account for precession, and translate these observations into architectural plans. Such capabilities imply mathematical and astronomical sophistication that conventional history struggles to explain. The Nile River adds another layer to this cosmic correlation. The Milky Way's position in ancient skies corresponded to the Nile's course across the landscape, creating a terrestrial mirror of celestial geography. The pyramids, positioned relative to the Nile, as Orion's stars relate to the Milky Way, suggest builders conceived their monuments within a cosmic framework that unified heaven and earth. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid reveals additional astronomical alignments. The so-called air shafts point with remarkable precision toward specific stars significant in ancient Egyptian mythology. The southern shaft from the King's Chamber targets Orion, while the northern shaft aligns with the pole star. These aren't functional ventilation ducts, but astronomical instruments built into the pyramid's fabric. The timing of construction adds another dimension to the stellar mystery. If the pyramids were indeed built to mirror Orion's belt at its optimal position around 10,500 BCE, this predates conventional dating by thousands of years. Such ancient construction would require reconsideration of human civilization's timeline and capabilities. Alternative researchers propose that the Orion correlation reflects knowledge preserved from an earlier, more advanced civilization. They suggest that survivors of a lost golden age encoded stellar knowledge in stone, creating monuments that would preserve astronomical wisdom through future dark ages. The pyramids become libraries of cosmic knowledge, designed to survive when human civilization couldn't. The precision of the stellar alignment raises questions about ancient observational capabilities. Creating accurate star maps requires instruments and techniques that conventional archaeology attributes to much later periods. The mathematics necessary to translate celestial coordinates into architectural plans demand sophisticated understanding of spherical geometry and astronomical calculation. Modern astronomy confirms the ancient importance of Orion in global mythology. Cultures worldwide, with no apparent connection to Egypt, revere these same stars and associate them with gods, heroes, or supernatural beings. This universal recognition suggests either common human psychology that finds meaning in stellar patterns, or shared ancestral memories of significant celestial events. The Orion correlation extends beyond mere alignment to incorporate stellar characteristics. The central star Alnilam appears dimmer than its companions, just as the middle pyramid at Giza is smaller than the Great Pyramid and Menkawer's monument. This attention to stellar magnitude suggests builders understood not just star positions, but their relative brightness knowledge requiring careful astronomical observation. Recent discoveries at other pyramid sites reveal similar stellar correlations. Pyramids at Abusir align with stars in the constellation Leo, while monuments at Dashur mirror other stellar patterns. This consistency suggests systematic knowledge of stellar positions and their mythological significance across Egyptian civilization. The question becomes whether such precise astronomical knowledge developed naturally within ancient Egyptian civilization or reflects influence from sources with advanced understanding of celestial mechanics. The sophistication of the correlations, combined with the mathematical precision required for their implementation, challenges conventional explanations of ancient capabilities. As we contemplate these stellar connections, we must consider whether ancient builders were simply honoring gods they associated with star patterns, or whether they were following instructions from visitors who understood the cosmos in ways that earthbound civilizations could only approximate through patient observation across millennia. The stars of Orion continue their eternal dance above Giza, unchanged since the pyramids first rose to mirror their pattern, holding secrets that may bridge the gap between human ambition and cosmic knowledge. As the climate shifted and administrative records from the ancient world began, yielding their secrets to modern archaeologists, a different picture of pyramid construction emerged, one that challenges both conventional wisdom and alternative theories with equal measure. The logistics of building these monuments reveal organizational capabilities that seemed to exceed anything accomplished in the pre-industrial world. Archaeological excavations near the Giza pyramids have uncovered extensive workers, settlements that paint a vivid picture of ancient project management. These discoveries reveal communities housing thousands of laborers, with sophisticated infrastructure designed to support the massive construction effort. Bakeries capable of producing thousands of loaves daily, breweries generating beer for the workforce, and medical facilities treating construction injuries all speak to organizational sophistication that rivals modern project management. The workers themselves leave traces that tell remarkable stories. Skeletal remains reveal evidence of hard physical labor, compressed vertebrae, enlarged muscle attachments, and healed fractures that speak to lives spent moving massive stones. But these weren't the slaves of popular imagination. Inscriptions identify organized work crews with names that suggest pride in their labor: Friends of Khufu, Drunkards of Menkaure, and Vigorous Gang. Ancient papyri discovered at Wadi al-Jarf provide contemporary accounts of pyramid construction logistics. These documents, dating to Khufu's reign, describe the transportation of limestone blocks from quarries to the pyramid site with bureaucratic precision that would be familiar to modern shipping managers. They record boat crews, cargo manifests, and work schedules with mundane detail that makes the extraordinary seem routine. The scale of the operation becomes apparent when we calculate workforce requirements. Conservative estimates suggest 20,000 workers during peak construction periods, with seasonal variations that coincided with agricultural cycles. When Nile floods freed farmers from their fields, this agricultural workforce supplemented permanent construction crews, creating a temporary city devoted to monumental building. But the numbers reveal troubling inconsistencies. Moving the estimated 2.3 million stone blocks of the Great Pyramid within the conventional 20-year construction timeline requires placing one block every 2 minutes, working continuously day and night. Even accounting for simultaneous installation at multiple points, the logistics seem to exceed human capabilities, using the tools archaeology attributes to ancient Egyptians. The quarrying process presents additional challenges to conventional explanations. Limestone blocks were extracted from local quarries using copper tools and wooden wedges, according to mainstream archaeology. But experiments in quarrying using these techniques suggest production rates far below what pyramid construction would require. The mathematics of stone extraction don't align with the mathematics of construction timelines. Transportation of materials reveals similar logistical puzzles. Moving massive granite blocks from Aswan quarries 500 miles away required engineering capabilities that challenge conventional understanding of ancient Egyptian technology. The Nile provided water transport during flood season, but overland movement from river to pyramid site would have required techniques for which archaeological evidence remains elusive. Yet alternative explanations face their own challenges. Stories of levitating stones and sonic manipulation appear in myths and legends across cultures, but physical evidence for such technologies remains absent from archaeological record. If advanced techniques were used in pyramid construction, they left few traces in material culture that archaeologists can study and verify. Recent discoveries complicate the narrative further. Workers' villages show evidence of medical care that suggests value placed on human welfare. Healed fractures in workers' skeletons indicate medical attention that ensured laborers could return to work after injuries. This care contradicts images of expendable slave labor, but raises questions about the economic resources required to maintain such large workforces. The seasonal nature of construction adds another dimension to the puzzle. Peak building activity coincided with Nile flood seasons when agricultural work was impossible. This timing maximized available workforce, but concentrated construction into limited periods, intensifying the logistical challenges of moving massive amounts of stone within compressed timeframes. Analysis of stone tool marks provides evidence for conventional construction techniques, while revealing their limitations. Copper chisels and stone hammers could shape limestone blocks, but granite required techniques that pushed ancient technology to its limits. The precision of granite work in pyramid chambers suggests capabilities that barely align with available tools and methods. The organization of work crews reveals sophisticated labor management that required administrative skills rivaling modern project coordination. Different crews specialized in specific tasks: quarrying, transport, lifting, and finishing, with coordination that suggests systematic planning and communication across the entire construction process. But gaps remain in our understanding of specific techniques used for the most challenging aspects of construction. How were the heaviest blocks lifted to great heights? How was such precision achieved in stone placement? How were internal chambers constructed within solid masonry? Archaeological evidence provides partial answers that leave crucial questions unresolved. The workforce debate ultimately returns us to fundamental questions about ancient human capabilities and the possibility of lost technologies or external guidance. Did our ancestors achieve the impossible through organization and determination alone, or did they possess knowledge and techniques that history has forgotten? Meanwhile, across the scattered remnants of ancient civilizations, archaeologists continue to uncover artifacts that suggest technologies seemingly impossible for their time periods. These discoveries challenge our linear understanding of technological development and hint at capabilities that mainstream history struggles to explain within conventional frameworks. The Antikythera mechanism, recovered from a Roman-era shipwreck, demonstrates computational sophistication that shouldn't exist for another 1,000 years, according to conventional technological timelines. This bronze device, consisting of precise gears and astronomical calculations, could predict eclipses, track planetary movements, and calculate Olympic Games schedules with accuracy that rivals modern computers. Its existence proves that ancient civilizations possessed mechanical knowledge far exceeding archaeological expectations. Ancient texts describe technologies that sound remarkably similar to modern machinery. Sanskrit epics tell of vimanas, flying vehicles powered by mysterious energy sources that could travel between worlds. While mainstream scholars interpret these as mythological metaphors, alternative researchers note the technical details provided in ancient engineering manuals, like the Vaimanika Shastra, which describes propulsion systems, navigation techniques, and even aerial combat tactics with engineering precision. The precision tooling found at ancient sites presents another technological puzzle. Megalithic structures worldwide show evidence of cutting and drilling techniques that appear to exceed capabilities of known ancient tools. Core samples extracted from granite blocks at Egyptian monuments show drill speeds that modern diamond-tipped equipment struggles to match. The precision of these ancient cuts suggests machinery that archaeological orthodoxy insists didn't exist. Legends of levitation technology appear in cultures across the globe with remarkable consistency. Tibetan monks speak of using sound vibrations to lift massive stones. Ancient Egyptian texts describe gods who could make heavy things light. Inca traditions tell of builders who sang stones into place. These widespread accounts of acoustic levitation suggest either universal human tendency toward similar myth-making or preserved memories of actual technological capabilities. The construction of impossibly precise stone walls at sites like Sacsayhuaman in Peru challenges conventional understanding of ancient engineering. Massive granite blocks, some weighing hundreds of tons, fit together with precision that requires no mortar while achieving earthquake resistance that has lasted centuries. The cutting and shaping of these stones would challenge modern technology. Yet archaeological evidence suggests construction by civilizations with only bronze and stone tools. Ancient electrical devices may have existed in forms we're only beginning to recognize. The Baghdad battery, discovered in Iraq and dating to approximately 250 BCE, appears to be an electrochemical cell capable of generating electric current. While its purpose remains debated, its construction suggests knowledge of electrical principles that conventional history attributes to much later periods. Geopolymer technology offers potential explanations for some ancient construction mysteries. Evidence suggests that certain ancient builders might have used chemical processes to create concrete-like materials that could be poured and shaped rather than quarried and carved. This technique could explain the precision of some ancient masonry while requiring less advanced machinery than conventional cutting and lifting methods. The lost art of creating Damascus steel demonstrates how sophisticated technologies can disappear from human knowledge. This legendary material, renowned for its strength and distinctive patterns, was produced using techniques that modern metallurgy has struggled to replicate. The loss of such specific technological knowledge proves that civilizations can forget crucial capabilities, suggesting other advanced techniques might have vanished from historical record. Ancient maps, like the Piri Reis, show geographical knowledge that appears impossible without advanced surveying techniques or aerial observation. These maps depict coastlines, including Antarctica, with accuracy that suggests mapping capabilities exceeding what conventional history attributes to their creators. The source of such precise geographical knowledge remains unexplained within orthodox historical frameworks. Mechanical devices found in ancient Greek and Roman sites reveal engineering sophistication that challenges technological timelines. Automatic doors operated by steam pressure, coin-operated machines, and programmable mechanical theaters demonstrate advanced engineering principles applied in practical applications. These devices suggest widespread technological capabilities that conventional history has underestimated. The precision of ancient astronomical observatories implies instruments and techniques that archaeological evidence has yet to fully explain. Sites like Stonehenge and Nabta Playa demonstrate astronomical knowledge requiring accurate measurement and calculation capabilities. The engineering required for such precise celestial observations suggests technological sophistication that may have been more advanced than currently recognized. Sound technology in ancient monuments presents another technological mystery. Chambers within pyramids and temples exhibit acoustic properties that seem intentionally designed for specific sound effects. These architectural acoustic systems demonstrate understanding of sound physics and engineering techniques that suggest advanced knowledge of vibrational principles and their practical applications. The global distribution of similar technologies across isolated civilizations raises questions about knowledge transmission or common sources of technological inspiration. Similar precision stonework, astronomical alignments, and construction techniques appear on different continents with no apparent cultural contact, suggesting either remarkable convergent evolution of human capabilities or shared technological heritage. As we examine these scattered pieces of evidence for ancient advanced technology, we must consider whether human ingenuity alone could account for such sophisticated capabilities, or whether these represent traces of knowledge from sources beyond the technological limitations we assume for ancient civilizations. But another possibility emerges from the sacred texts and royal inscriptions that have survived the millennia, speaking of divine encounters that blur the boundaries between mythology and historical record. Ancient Egyptian religion, far from being simple superstition, may preserve memories of actual contact with beings who descended from the stars to share knowledge with earthbound civilizations. The pyramid texts, humanity's oldest known religious writings, describe the pharaoh's journey after death to join the gods among the stars. But these ancient inscriptions contain details that suggest more than metaphorical storytelling. They speak of specific stellar destinations, describe technologies of transformation, and reference knowledge that seems to exceed the astronomical capabilities attributed to ancient Egyptian civilization. Egyptian creation myths consistently describe gods arriving from the sky to establish civilization along the Nile. The Heliopolitan cosmology tells of Adam emerging from primordial waters to create the first land, followed by generations of deities who shaped human culture and taught essential knowledge. While mainstream scholarship interprets these as symbolic narratives, the specific technical details suggest possible historical foundations. The god Thoth, revered as the source of wisdom, mathematics, and writing, was said to have descended from the stars to impart knowledge to humanity. Ancient texts credit Thoth with teaching astronomy, engineering, and sacred geometry, precisely the knowledge reflected in pyramid construction. Egyptian tradition held that Thoth designed the pyramids himself, using divine wisdom to encode cosmic mathematics in stone. Hieroglyphic inscriptions at the Temple of Dendera depict strange beings with elongated skulls and unusual features working alongside human figures. These representations, dismissed by mainstream Egyptology as mythological symbolism, bear striking resemblances to modern descriptions of extraterrestrial entities. The consistency of these depictions across different sites and time periods suggests they may represent actual historical encounters rather than pure imagination. The Sumerian influence on early Egyptian civilization provides another layer to this puzzle. Sumerian texts, predating Egyptian records, describe the Anunnaki beings from the sky who established civilization and taught humans agriculture, mathematics, and astronomy. The similarities between Sumerian and Egyptian accounts of divine instruction suggest shared cultural memories of actual encounters with advanced beings. Ancient Egyptian technology and knowledge appear in historical record with remarkable suddenness, suggesting external sources rather than gradual development. The transition from prehistoric cultures to the sophisticated civilization of the early dynasties happens with a speed that challenges conventional models of cultural evolution. This rapid advancement could indicate knowledge transfer from advanced sources rather than natural technological development. The divine pharaohs themselves were said to possess supernatural abilities that enabled monumental construction projects. Royal inscriptions describe kings who could command stones to move, direct workers through divine inspiration, and access wisdom directly from celestial sources. While modern interpretation treats these as royal propaganda, the consistent themes across multiple reigns suggest possible historical foundations. The Edfu building texts provide detailed accounts of temple construction, directed by divine beings called the Shin Shedi, followers of Horus, who possessed advanced knowledge of architecture and engineering. These texts describe specific construction techniques, mathematical principles, and astronomical alignments with precision that suggests actual technical manuals rather than religious symbolism. Egyptian astronomical knowledge appears fully developed in the earliest texts, without evidence of gradual accumulation through observation and calculation. The precise understanding of precession, stellar positions, and cosmic cycles reflected in pyramid design suggests inherited wisdom rather than discoveries made through generations of Egyptian astronomers working independently. The concept of divine kingship in ancient Egypt may reflect actual genetic lineages connecting pharaohs to extraterrestrial visitors. Royal bloodlines were carefully maintained, with succession often following patterns that suggest preservation of specific genetic heritage. The physical characteristics of certain pharaohs, including elongated skulls and unusual proportions, might reflect hybrid ancestry rather than purely human genetics. Sacred sites throughout Egypt show evidence of construction techniques that exceed the capabilities attributed to their builders. The precision of stone cutting, the accuracy of astronomical alignments, and the sophistication of engineering solutions suggest guidance from sources with advanced technological knowledge. These achievements appear more consistent with instruction from advanced beings than with independent human development. The sudden decline of pyramid construction after the Fourth Dynasty coincides with changes in religious texts that suggest the departure of divine teachers. Later monuments never achieved the precision and sophistication of Giza, as if essential knowledge was lost when celestial instructors ended their direct involvement in human affairs. Modern encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena show characteristics remarkably similar to ancient descriptions of divine beings. The technology described in ancient texts, flying vehicles, advanced materials, and energy systems, parallels contemporary accounts of extraterrestrial technology. This consistency across millennia suggests that ancient contacts might represent earlier phases of ongoing interaction between humans and advanced intelligences. Religious art from ancient Egypt depicts scenes that could be interpreted as technology rather than purely spiritual symbolism. Images of gods in flying discs, strange mechanical devices, and energy emanations might represent actual technological systems, described in mythological language by people who lacked modern technical vocabulary. The preservation of specific technical knowledge across Egyptian history suggests systematic instruction rather than accidental discovery. The mathematical principles, astronomical calculations, and engineering techniques reflected in Egyptian monuments appear too sophisticated and consistent to result from independent human development within the limited time frame of early dynastic Egypt. As we examine these ancient accounts of divine instruction and technological guidance, we must consider whether they represent mythological interpretations of natural phenomena or preserved memories of actual encounters with beings who possess knowledge and capabilities far exceeding those of ancient human civilizations. But as the climate of archaeological interpretation shifts toward more careful analysis of anomalous artifacts, one particular carving at the Temple of Seti I in Abydos continues to perplex scholars and fuel speculation about ancient knowledge that shouldn't exist according to conventional historical timelines. High on a limestone beam within this 3,000-year-old temple, hieroglyphic carvings appear to depict modern aircraft with startling clarity. What mainstream Egyptology dismisses as pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar patterns in random shapes, alternative researchers interpret as evidence of ancient contact with advanced technology or lost human capabilities that exceeded anything recorded in conventional history. The controversial images seem to show a helicopter in profile, complete with rotor blades and tail assembly. Nearby carvings resemble a submarine, a glider, and what appears to be a spacecraft with distinctive propulsion systems. The precision of these shapes, carved in stone long before such vehicles were imagined by modern civilization, challenges comfortable assumptions about ancient limitations and technological development. Orthodox archaeology explains these shapes as the result of overlapping hieroglyphic inscriptions created during different historical periods. According to this interpretation, earlier carvings were partially erased and new inscriptions carved over them, creating accidental combinations that coincidentally resemble modern technology. The palimpsest effect, they argue, produced shapes that only appear meaningful to observers familiar with 20th century machinery. But closer examination reveals problems with this conventional explanation. The supposed overlapping inscriptions don't align properly with known hieroglyphic combinations that would produce such specific shapes. The carvings show consistent depth and weathering that suggests single-period creation rather than multiple phases of inscription and re-inscription across different dynasties. The Temple of Seti I itself presents additional mysteries that complicate simple explanations of the helicopter hieroglyphs. This monument demonstrates construction techniques and artistic sophistication that rank among ancient Egypt's finest achievements. The precision of the carvings, the complexity of the relief work, and the sophisticated understanding of proportion and composition suggest builders who possessed advanced knowledge of architecture and engineering. The placement of the controversial carvings within the temple's overall design appears intentional rather than accidental. The images occupy a prominent position where they would be clearly visible to visitors, suggesting they held significance for ancient temple builders rather than representing mere coincidental shapes created by overlapping inscriptions. Other anomalous depictions throughout the temple compound support the possibility that ancient Egyptians possessed knowledge of technologies that conventional history attributes to modern times. Carvings show strange mechanical devices, unusual geometric patterns, and symbolic representations that could be interpreted as technical diagrams rather than purely religious imagery. The consistency of these unusual carvings across different Egyptian sites suggests systematic knowledge rather than isolated anomalies. Similar technologically suggestive imagery appears at temples throughout Egypt, indicating widespread awareness of concepts that shouldn't exist within conventional historical frameworks. This distribution implies cultural knowledge rather than accidental artistic coincidences. Ancient Egyptian texts contain descriptions of divine vehicles and mechanical devices that parallel the imagery found in temple carvings. Religious writings describe gods traveling in boats of the sky with characteristics that resemble modern aircraft more than traditional watercraft. These textual descriptions provide context for interpreting temple imagery as representations of actual technologies rather than purely symbolic art. The technical accuracy of the helicopter hieroglyph becomes more apparent under detailed analysis. The rotor configuration, fuselage proportions, and tail assembly all conform to aerodynamic principles that govern actual helicopter design. The precision of these technical details exceeds what accidental coincidence would produce, suggesting either remarkable prescience or actual knowledge of helicopter technology. Modern attempts to recreate the supposed palimpsest effect that Orthodox archaeology uses to explain the helicopter hieroglyph have failed to produce similarly convincing results. Experimental overlapping of known hieroglyphic combinations doesn't generate shapes that resemble modern technology with the clarity and precision seen in the Abydos carvings. The preservation of these carvings presents another puzzle. Despite being exposed to weathering for thousands of years, the controversial hieroglyphs remain clearly defined, while other temple carvings show significant erosion. This differential preservation suggests the helicopter imagery was carved more deeply or with different techniques than surrounding inscriptions. Carbon dating and other archaeological methods confirm the ancient age of the temple and its carvings, eliminating the possibility of modern hoaxes or recent additions to genuinely ancient structures. The helicopter hieroglyphs were definitely created during ancient Egyptian civilization, not added by later visitors or modern forgers seeking to create mystery. The symbolic interpretation of these carvings within Egyptian religious context provides another perspective on their meaning. Ancient Egyptian religion emphasized transformation, divine travel between worlds, and the ability of gods to transcend normal physical limitations. The helicopter hieroglyphs might represent spiritual concepts, expressed through imagery of advanced transportation technology. Yet the specificity of the technical details argues against purely symbolic interpretation. Religious art typically uses generalized representations rather than precise technical specifications. The helicopter carving shows specific engineering features that serve no symbolic purpose while perfectly matching the technical requirements of actual rotorcraft design. Photography and digital analysis of the Abydos carvings continue to reveal new details that complicate simple explanations. High-resolution imaging shows tool marks, carving techniques, and surface treatments that provide clues about construction methods and historical context. Each new technological analysis of the controversial hieroglyphs raises additional questions rather than resolving existing mysteries. As we contemplate these enigmatic carvings, we must consider whether they represent remarkable coincidences created by overlapping inscriptions, symbolic representations of religious concepts, or evidence of ancient knowledge that challenges fundamental assumptions about human technological development and the possibility of contact with advanced intelligences in Earth as distant past. As the morning sun illuminates ancient monuments on distant continents, a remarkable pattern emerges that transcends geographical boundaries and cultural isolation. Pyramid structures rise from landscapes across the globe, from the jungles of Central America to the plains of China, from the deserts of Sudan to the forests of Eastern Europe, suggesting either unprecedented ancient communication networks or shared architectural inspiration from common sources. The Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan rivals Egypt's monuments in scale and sophistication. Yet no evidence suggests contact between Mesoamerican and Egyptian civilizations during the periods of construction. This massive structure, built around 100 CE, demonstrates precision engineering, astronomical alignments, and mathematical relationships that mirror those found at Giza, despite being constructed thousands of miles away by entirely different cultures. The stepped pyramids of Central and South America, from the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza to the Pyramid of the Magician at Ismail, incorporate advanced knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and acoustics that parallel Egyptian achievements. These monuments align with stellar positions, encode calendrical calculations, and create acoustic effects that suggest builders possessed sophisticated understanding of sound physics and architectural engineering. In China, the mysterious pyramids near Xi'an demonstrate construction techniques and astronomical orientations that echo global patterns. Despite Chinese government restrictions on archaeological investigation, satellite imagery reveals dozens of pyramid structures with precise cardinal alignments and mathematical proportions similar to those found in Egypt and the Americas. The age and builders of these monuments remain officially uncertain. The Bosnian pyramids, while controversial within mainstream archaeology, present another example of global pyramid construction that challenges conventional understanding of ancient capabilities. If genuine, these European monuments would represent pyramid building in regions where such construction had no known cultural precedents, suggesting either widespread knowledge transmission or universal architectural principles derived from common sources. Even more intriguing are the underwater pyramid structures discovered off the coasts of Japan, the Caribbean, and the Mediterranean. The Yanaguni monument near Japan shows characteristics of artificial construction with steps, platforms, and geometric shapes that suggest human engineering. These submerged structures, if artificial, would predate known civilizations by thousands of years, implying lost technologies and forgotten cultures. The precision of astronomical alignments across global pyramid sites suggests coordinated knowledge of celestial mechanics that shouldn't exist without advanced communication systems or shared educational sources. Pyramids on different continents align with the same stellar positions, incorporate identical mathematical relationships, and demonstrate similar understanding of Earth's dimensions and cosmic cycles. The construction techniques employed at global pyramid sites show remarkable similarities despite the vast distances and supposed cultural isolation between building civilizations. Megalithic stone transport, precision cutting and fitting, and complex internal chamber systems appear across continents with consistency that challenges explanations based on independent technological development. Ancient texts from pyramid-building civilizations contain similar accounts of divine instruction and supernatural assistance in construction. Egyptian, Mayan, Chinese, and other cultures all describe gods or advanced beings providing architectural knowledge and construction guidance. These parallel narratives suggest either universal human psychological patterns or shared historical experiences with technologically advanced instructors. The mathematical relationships encoded in global pyramid structures demonstrate knowledge of cosmic constants, planetary dimensions, and geometric principles that supposedly weren't formally discovered until modern times. This consistency across isolated civilizations suggests either remarkable coincidence or access to advanced mathematical knowledge from sources beyond individual human cultures. The sudden appearance of pyramid construction in various civilizations, often without evidence of gradual technological development, suggests knowledge transfer rather than independent innovation. Complex architectural and engineering capabilities appear fully formed in historical record, implying instruction from advanced sources rather than slow cultural evolution. The decline and abandonment of pyramid construction across different civilizations often coincides with periods of cultural disruption or religious change, as if external sources of architectural knowledge withdrew or were rejected by later generations. This pattern of sudden technological capability, followed by gradual loss, appears across multiple continents and time periods. Modern attempts to understand global pyramid construction using conventional archaeological methods struggle to explain the consistency of techniques, the precision of astronomical alignments, and the sophistication of mathematical relationships found across isolated civilizations. The evidence suggests coordination or instruction that transcends normal patterns of cultural development and technological exchange. The acoustic properties of pyramid structures worldwide demonstrate similar understanding of sound physics and architectural acoustics. Chambers within pyramids on different continents create comparable resonance effects, echo patterns, and frequency responses that suggest systematic knowledge of acoustic engineering, principles applied across global construction projects. Recent discoveries continue to reveal new pyramid sites and previously unknown construction techniques that expand the geographical and temporal scope of pyramid building. Each new discovery reinforces the global nature of this architectural phenomenon, while deepening the mystery of how isolated civilizations achieved such consistent results using supposedly primitive technologies. The preservation of pyramid structures across different environments and climate conditions demonstrates construction techniques that ensure longevity beyond anything achieved by later civilizations. This durability suggests builders possessed advanced knowledge of materials science, structural engineering, and environmental factors that conventional archaeology struggles to explain within accepted technological limitations. As we contemplate the global distribution of pyramid construction and the remarkable consistency of techniques across isolated civilizations, we must consider whether human ingenuity alone could account for such widespread architectural sophistication, or whether these monuments represent evidence of instruction from advanced sources that guided human civilizations across multiple continents and historical periods. Yet as we delve deeper into the technical specifications of the Great Pyramid, another interpretation of its purpose emerges, one that transforms our understanding from a tomb designed for royal burial to a sophisticated machine engineered for energy production and technological applications that challenge every assumption about ancient Egyptian capabilities and intentions. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid reveals characteristics more consistent with industrial machinery than funerary architecture. The absence of mummies, burial goods, and typical tomb inscriptions suggests the monument served functions beyond royal interment. The complex system of chambers, passages, and shafts appears designed for processes that required precise engineering rather than symbolic religious purposes. Christopher Dunn's research proposes that the Great Pyramid functioned as a hydrogen power plant, using chemical reactions and resonance to generate electrical energy. According to this theory, the pyramid's internal chambers served as reaction vessels where hydrogen gas was produced and concentrated, while the structure's geometric properties focused and amplified acoustic energy to drive chemical processes. The king's chamber demonstrates characteristics consistent with a reaction vessel designed for gas production and acoustic resonance. The granite construction provides chemical resistance and acoustic properties that would be ideal for containing reactive gases while maintaining precise frequency vibrations. The chamber's dimensions create resonance at specific frequencies that could drive chemical reactions through sonic energy. The Grand Gallery appears designed to function as an acoustic resonator that would amplify sound waves generated within the pyramid structure. The corbelled ceiling and precise geometric proportions create acoustic properties that would focus and intensify vibrations, potentially generating the harmonic frequencies necessary to drive chemical processes within the king's chamber reaction vessel. The queen's chamber reveals evidence of chemical processes that support the power plant hypothesis. Salt deposits on the chamber walls suggest reactions involving hydrogen, chloride gas, while the chamber, as smaller size, and different acoustic properties indicate it may have served as a secondary reaction vessel or chemical processing facility within the overall energy generation system. The subterranean chamber, carved into bedrock beneath the pyramid, shows characteristics of a water processing facility that could have provided chemical feedstock for hydrogen generation. The chamber's rough-hewn appearance in connection to underground water sources suggest it functioned as an industrial facility rather than a ceremonial space. The so-called air shafts throughout the pyramid appear designed to facilitate gas flow and pressure regulation, rather than ventilation for human occupants. The precise angles and termination points of these passages suggest they controlled chemical processes by directing gases between different chambers and regulating pressure within the overall system. The pyramid's external characteristics support the power plant hypothesis through features that suggest energy transmission capabilities. The missing capstone may have been a crucial component that focused and transmitted energy generated within the structure. Ancient descriptions of the pyramid, topped with a golden or crystalline apex, suggest materials that could conduct or amplify electromagnetic energy. The location of the Giza pyramid complex demonstrates characteristics of an industrial site selected for optimal energy generation rather than purely religious considerations. The geological properties of the Giza Plateau provide natural acoustic resonance and underground water sources that would support chemical processing operations, while the plateau's elevation facilitates energy transmission across the surrounding landscape. Recent discoveries of underground chambers and tunnels beneath the pyramid complex suggest infrastructure consistent with industrial operations rather than tomb construction. These subterranean facilities may have housed additional chemical processing equipment, water management systems, and energy distribution networks that supported the pyramid's function as a power generation facility. The acoustic properties of the entire Giza complex indicate design for sound amplification and frequency manipulation that would be necessary for sonic chemical energy production. The resonance characteristics of individual pyramids, combined with their geometric relationships to each other, create acoustic interactions that could generate and focus vibrational energy across the entire site. The mathematical relationships encoded in the pyramid's dimensions correspond to frequencies and harmonic ratios that would be optimal for driving chemical reactions through acoustic energy. The precision of these mathematical relationships suggests intentional design for specific technological applications rather than symbolic or religious purposes. Archaeological evidence from the pyramid's interior reveals wear patterns and chemical residues that support industrial use rather than occasional ceremonial functions. The granite surfaces show evidence of exposure to reactive chemicals, while passage walls display wearing patterns consistent with regular movement of materials and equipment through the structure's internal systems. The absence of typical tomb features throughout the pyramid structure reinforces the power plant hypothesis by eliminating funerary functions that would conflict with industrial operations. No burial chamber shows evidence of human remains, no inscriptions describe burial rituals, and no artifacts suggest the monument served mortuary purposes rather than technological applications. The pyramid's relationship to the Nile River system indicates connections to water sources and transportation networks that would support industrial operations requiring large quantities of chemical feedstock and materials. The proximity to limestone quarries provides ready access to calcium carbonate for chemical processes, while the river enables transportation of other necessary materials. Modern attempts to replicate proposed chemical processes using the pyramid's dimensions and materials have shown promising results that support the power plant hypothesis. Experimental work has demonstrated that acoustic resonance can drive hydrogen production in chambers with the King's chamber specifications, suggesting the ancient structure could indeed have functioned as proposed. The sudden abandonment of pyramid construction after the Fourth Dynasty coincides with changes that suggest the loss of technological knowledge rather than purely religious or cultural shifts. Later pharaohs never achieved the precision and sophistication of Giza, as if essential technical knowledge was lost when the original energy generation systems ceased operation. As we examine the evidence for the pyramid as a technological installation rather than a tomb, we must consider whether ancient Egyptians possessed advanced knowledge of chemistry, acoustics, and energy systems that enabled them to construct functional power generation facilities, or whether they built these structures following instructions from sources with technological capabilities far exceeding anything attributed to ancient human civilizations. As twilight settles over the Giza Plateau and shadows lengthen across the ancient stones, one absence speaks as loudly as any presence: the missing apex of the Great Pyramid, that crucial capstone which once crowned humanity's most ambitious architectural achievement and may have held the key to understanding the monument's true purpose. Ancient accounts describe the Great Pyramid topped with a gleaming pyramidion of gold, electrum, or crystal that caught the sun's first rays each morning and blazed like a beacon across the Nile Valley. This capstone, known in Egyptian as the Benben, represented the primordial mound of creation and served as the focal point where earthly architecture met celestial energy. The precise measurements of the missing apex suggest it wasn't merely decorative, but served crucial functional purposes in the pyramid's overall design. The capstone would have completed the geometric relationships that encode cosmic mathematics throughout the structure, transforming the truncated monument we see today into a perfect expression of sacred geometry and astronomical alignment. Greek historian Herodotus, visiting Egypt in the 5th century BCE, made no mention of a missing capstone, suggesting the apex remained in place during the classical period. Roman authors similarly described the pyramid as complete, indicating the capstone disappeared sometime after ancient historical accounts were recorded, but before medieval travelers began documenting the monument's current truncated state. Medieval Arab historians provide the first clear descriptions of the Great Pyramid lacking its apex, suggesting the capstone vanished during the turbulent centuries following Rome's decline. Some accounts blame Christian zealots, who viewed the monument as a pagan idol, while others suggest early Islamic rulers removed the apex to prevent its use in magical practices. The material composition of the original capstone remains a subject of intense speculation among researchers. Ancient Egyptian texts describe Benben stones made of meteoric iron, crystalline materials, or precious metals that possessed unique properties enabling them to channel celestial energies. The acoustic and electromagnetic properties of such materials could have completed electrical circuits within the pyramid structure. Modern expeditions searching for traces of the missing capstone have uncovered intriguing evidence in the debris surrounding the pyramid space. Fragments of unusual metallic materials, crystalline structures, and worked stones that don't match the pyramid's limestone construction suggest the presence of exotic materials that may have formed components of the original apex. The exact dimensions of the missing capstone can be calculated from the pyramid's geometric proportions and the measurements of its truncated summit. This theoretical capstone would have measured approximately 30 feet square at its base and risen to complete the monument's original height of 481 feet, creating perfect mathematical relationships that are disrupted by its absence. Local legends preserve memories of the capstone as removal and describe its burial in secret locations to prevent its power from falling into wrong hands. These folk traditions speak of the apex as a source of magical energy that could control weather, heal diseases, and communicate with the gods' capabilities that suggest advanced technological functions rather than purely symbolic purposes. The timing of the capstone's disappearance coincides with periods of political instability and religious transformation in Egypt, suggesting its removal may have been intentional rather than accidental. The capstone represented ancient Egyptian religious beliefs and technological capabilities that later rulers sought to suppress or control. Archaeological evidence from the pyramid's summit reveals careful modification of the stone platform that once supported the capstone. Tool marks and construction features indicate the apex was deliberately removed using techniques that suggest systematic dismantling rather than natural deterioration or random destruction. The absence of the capstone creates acoustic and electromagnetic anomalies within the pyramid, structure that may explain some of the strange phenomena reported by modern visitors. Without the apex to complete resonance circuits and focus energy flows, the monument functions as an incomplete machine with unpredictable effects on sensitive individuals. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys around the Giza complex have identified subsurface anomalies that may represent buried components of the original capstone. These underground features show geometric patterns and material densities that differ from surrounding limestone, suggesting deliberate burial of crucial pyramid components. The symbolic significance of the missing capstone extends beyond its architectural function to represent lost knowledge and broken connections between ancient wisdom and modern understanding. The absent apex serves as a reminder that crucial elements of ancient Egyptian technology and spirituality may have been deliberately hidden or accidentally lost. Attempts to reconstruct or replace the missing capstone using modern materials and ancient specifications have met with official resistance from Egyptian authorities who view such interventions as inappropriate modifications to historical monuments. These restrictions prevent experimental verification of theories about the capstone's original function and properties. The search for the missing capstone continues to drive archaeological expeditions, treasure hunters, and alternative researchers who believe its recovery would unlock secrets of ancient Egyptian technology and possibly validate theories about extraterrestrial influence on pyramid construction. The apex remains one of archaeology's most significant missing pieces. As darkness falls over the truncated pyramid, its absent crown creates a stark silhouette against the star-filled sky, a reminder that some of history's most important answers may lie not in what remains visible, but in what has been lost hidden or deliberately removed from our view. As the climate of North Africa underwent dramatic transformations over millennia, the very landscape that surrounds the pyramids tells a story of environmental change so profound that it may reshape our understanding of when and why these monuments were constructed and by whom they were truly built. 10,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert bore little resemblance to the arid wasteland we know today. Satellite imagery and ground-penetrating radar reveal the ghostly outlines of ancient rivers, vast lakes, and fertile plains where abundant rainfall once supported thriving civilizations. This green Sahara period, confirmed by geological evidence and climate modeling, suggests that complex societies could have flourished in regions now considered uninhabitable. The Sphinx, weathered by thousands of years of wind and sand, bears scars that tell a different story about the timeline of ancient Egyptian civilization. Geologist Robert Schoch's analysis of erosion patterns on the monument reveals deep vertical channels, characteristic of water erosion rather than wind abrasion. This water damage suggests the Sphinx experienced heavy rainfall during periods when Egypt's climate was far wetter than historical records indicate. The implications of such climate-driven erosion challenge fundamental assumptions about the age of Giza's monuments. If the Sphinx shows evidence of prolonged water erosion, its construction must predate the arid period that has characterized Egypt for the past several thousand years. This places the monument's origins in the Green Sahara period, thousands of years before conventional Egyptology dates the beginning of dynastic civilization. Archaeological evidence from across North Africa supports the existence of sophisticated pre-dynastic cultures that thrived during more favorable climate conditions. Nabta Playa, an ancient ceremonial complex in southern Egypt, demonstrates advanced astronomical knowledge and megalithic construction techniques dating to approximately 7,000 BCE. This site suggests that complex civilizations existed in the Sahara long before the rise of pharaonic Egypt. The sudden onset of arid conditions around 4000 BCE, confirmed by sediment analysis and archaeological evidence, would have forced massive population migrations as fertile lands transformed into desert. These climate refugees, carrying advanced knowledge and construction techniques developed during the Green Sahara period, may have settled along the Nile Valley and contributed to the rapid rise of Egyptian civilization. The precision of astronomical alignments at ancient sites across the Sahara suggests these early civilizations possessed sophisticated knowledge of celestial mechanics and long-term climate cycles. Megalithic structures throughout the region align with stellar positions and seasonal markers that would have been crucial for agricultural societies adapting to changing environmental conditions. Rock art from the Sahara's Green period depicts advanced societies with complex social structures, sophisticated technology, and cultural practices that parallel those of later Egyptian civilization. These petroglyphs show evidence of cattle domestication, astronomical observation, and ritualistic practices that may have formed the foundation for later Egyptian religious and cultural traditions. The rapid desertification of the Sahara created conditions that would have preserved archaeological evidence from the Green period beneath protective layers of sand and sediment. Current archaeological techniques are only beginning to penetrate these buried landscapes, suggesting that vast amounts of evidence about pre-dynastic civilizations remain hidden beneath the desert's surface. Underground water systems throughout the Sahara, including fossil aquifers and ancient spring networks, provided the infrastructure necessary to support large populations during the Green period. The knowledge of these water sources, preserved in oral traditions and possibly encoded in monument alignments, may have enabled survival and cultural continuity during the transition to arid conditions. The construction techniques evident at pre-dynastic sites show remarkable sophistication that challenges assumptions about technological development in ancient Africa. Megalithic transport, precision stone cutting, and complex astronomical calculations appear fully developed in the earliest sites, suggesting either rapid technological advancement or inheritance of knowledge from even earlier periods. Lake Mega Chad, which once covered an area larger than the Caspian Sea, supported complex civilizations that left traces throughout the Central Sahara. As this massive water body shrank and eventually disappeared, the populations it supported would have been forced to migrate, potentially carrying advanced knowledge to regions where they established new civilizations. The Richet structure, a massive circular formation in Mauritania, has been proposed as a potential location for Atlantis or other lost civilizations described in ancient texts. While mainstream geology attributes this formation to natural processes, its geometric precision and association with unusual mineral deposits suggest it may have played a role in ancient Saharan civilizations. Genetic analysis of modern North African populations reveals evidence of ancient admixture events that coincide with periods of climate change and population migration. These genetic markers suggest large-scale movements of people carrying distinct cultural and technological traditions that may have contributed to the rapid development of Egyptian civilization. The preservation of advanced astronomical knowledge throughout the climate transition suggests that sophisticated educational institutions existed during the Green Sahara period. The precision of this knowledge, reflected in later Egyptian monuments, implies systematic observation and calculation capabilities that required stable, long-term civilizations with advanced mathematical understanding. Ancient Egyptian texts preserve references to ancestral civilizations and lost kingdoms that may represent historical memories of Green Sahara cultures. The Egyptian concept of Zep Tepi, the first time, describes a golden age when gods ruled directly on earth, possibly reflecting cultural memories of more advanced pre-dynastic civilizations. Climate modeling indicates that the Sahara undergoes regular cycles of wet and dry periods, driven by orbital variations and atmospheric changes. These cycles suggest that advanced civilizations could have risen and fallen multiple times throughout prehistory, with each cycle potentially leaving traces in the archaeological record that challenge conventional timelines of human cultural development. As we contemplate the evidence for lost civilizations that may have thrived during more favorable climate conditions, we must consider whether the advanced knowledge evident in Egyptian monuments represents the gradual development of indigenous cultures, or whether it reflects the inheritance of wisdom from earlier, more sophisticated civilizations that flourished when the Sahara was green and could support complex societies. But another possibility emerges from the ancient writings of Greek philosophers who preserve stories of lost civilizations that may bridge the gap between mythological speculation and historical reality, suggesting connections between legendary Atlantis and the undeniable achievements of ancient Egypt that conventional history struggles to explain. Plato has detailed descriptions of Atlantis in the dialogues. Timaeus and Critias provide specific geographical, technological, and cultural details that seem too precise for pure fiction. The philosopher describes an advanced maritime civilization with sophisticated engineering, astronomical knowledge, and construction capabilities that parallel the achievements evident in Egyptian monuments, suggesting possible historical connections between lost Atlantic cultures and Nile Valley civilizations. The timeline Plato provides for Atlantis places its destruction approximately 9,000 years before Solon's visit to Egypt, dating the catastrophe to around 9600 BCE. This timeframe coincides with dramatic climate changes at the end of the last ice age, when rising sea levels and environmental upheavals could have destroyed coastal civilizations, while forcing survivors to migrate to more stable regions like the Nile Valley. Egyptian priests, according to Plato's account, preserved records of Atlantis in their temple archives, suggesting that ancient Egyptian civilization maintained historical connections to lost Atlantic cultures. The priests described Atlantis as a technologically advanced society that possessed knowledge of engineering, astronomy, and maritime navigation that exceeded contemporary capabilities. The sudden appearance of sophisticated Egyptian civilization, with fully developed writing systems, mathematical knowledge, and architectural capabilities, supports theories of cultural inheritance from earlier, more advanced societies. The rapid transition from prehistoric cultures to dynastic Egypt happens with a speed that suggests external influence rather than gradual indigenous development. Geological evidence for catastrophic flooding at the end of the last ice age provides physical support for Plato's account of Atlantis' destruction. Massive underwater formations in the Atlantic, Mediterranean, and other bodies of water show evidence of submerged structures that may represent lost civilizations destroyed by rising sea levels and seismic events. The precision of Egyptian astronomical knowledge, particularly understanding of precession and long-term celestial cycles, suggests inheritance of observational data accumulated over periods longer than conventional Egyptian chronology allows. Such knowledge could have been preserved and transmitted by survivors of earlier civilizations with advanced astronomical capabilities. Ancient Egyptian texts contain references to ancestral peoples and lost homelands that may represent cultural memories of Atlantean origins. The concept of Zep-Tepi describes a golden age when divine beings ruled Earth directly, possibly reflecting traditions inherited from more advanced predecessor civilizations that possessed superior technological capabilities. The distribution of megalithic construction techniques across the Atlantic region, from Egypt and North Africa to Europe and the Americas, suggests cultural connections that transcend conventional explanations of independent development. The consistency of astronomical alignments, mathematical relationships, and construction methods across these regions implies shared knowledge sources. Similarities between Egyptian and American pyramid construction, despite supposed cultural isolation, support theories of common ancestry in lost Atlantic civilizations. Both cultures demonstrate knowledge of advanced mathematics, astronomy, and engineering that appears suddenly in archaeological record without evidence of gradual development through observable intermediate stages. The location of underwater structures near Egypt, including submerged buildings and artificial formations in the Mediterranean, provides physical evidence for lost coastal civilizations that could represent Atlantean settlements or colonies. These underwater archaeological sites demonstrate construction techniques and architectural sophistication that parallel land-based Egyptian monuments. Ancient maps that show geographical knowledge exceeding the capabilities attributed to their creators suggest preservation of cartographic information from earlier, more advanced civilizations. The Piri-Reis map and other anomalous charts display coastlines and geographical features with accuracy that implies advanced surveying techniques or aerial observation capabilities. The technological sophistication evident in the earliest Egyptian monuments, particularly the precision of the Great Pyramid, exceeds what gradual cultural development would produce within the timeframes allowed by conventional chronology. Such achievements suggest either external instruction or inheritance of knowledge from technologically superior predecessor civilizations. Genetic evidence from ancient Egyptian populations reveals admixture events that coincide with periods of supposed cultural contact with foreign civilizations. These genetic markers suggest large-scale population movements and cultural exchanges that could have resulted from Atlantean refugees settling in the Nile Valley following oceanic catastrophes. The preservation of advanced knowledge through Egyptian mystery schools and religious institutions demonstrates systematic efforts to maintain technological and scientific information across generational changes. These educational systems may have been established by Atlantean survivors seeking to preserve their civilization as achievements in more stable geographical locations. Ancient Egyptian religious concepts that emphasize water, flood myths, and cyclic destruction echo themes found in Atlantis accounts and other global flood traditions. These consistent mythological elements across different cultures suggest shared historical experiences of catastrophic events that destroyed earlier civilizations and forced survivors to establish new settlements. The sudden decline in pyramid construction quality after the Fourth Dynasty parallels patterns that would be expected if advanced knowledge was gradually lost as Atlantean refugees assimilated into indigenous Egyptian culture. Later monuments never achieved the precision and sophistication of Giza, suggesting the loss of crucial technical knowledge over time. Maritime archaeological discoveries continue to reveal submerged structures and artifacts that support theories of lost civilizations with advanced technological capabilities. These underwater sites demonstrate construction techniques, astronomical alignments, and architectural sophistication that challenge conventional timelines of human cultural development. As we examine the connections between Atlantean traditions and Egyptian achievements, we must consider whether the advanced knowledge evident in early Egyptian civilization represents indigenous development, cultural inheritance from lost Atlantic civilizations, or instruction from sources with technological capabilities that transcended anything achieved by ancient human societies working independently. As the eternal stars wheel overhead in their ancient patterns, the true purpose of the pyramids may extend far beyond earthly tombs or technological installations to encompass functions that bridge the gap between physical and spiritual realms, suggesting capabilities that transform our understanding of ancient Egyptian achievements and their possible connections to cosmic intelligence. The pyramid texts, humanity's oldest religious writings, describe the pharaoh's journey after death through specific stellar destinations and cosmic gateways that suggest more than metaphorical storytelling. These ancient inscriptions contain detailed descriptions of technological processes, transformation procedures, and navigation techniques that read more like technical manuals than purely spiritual literature. The internal structure of the Great Pyramid appears designed to facilitate processes that transcend normal physical limitations. The precise geometric relationships, acoustic properties, and electromagnetic characteristics of the monument's chambers create conditions that could theoretically enable consciousness transfer, dimensional transition, or other phenomena that conventional physics struggles to explain, but quantum mechanics suggests may be possible. The King's Chamber demonstrates characteristics consistent with a sophisticated consciousness interface rather than a simple burial vault. The granite construction provides electromagnetic shielding. The geometric proportions create specific resonance frequencies, and the acoustic properties generate sound patterns that could theoretically induce altered states of consciousness or facilitate mental interface with technological systems. The absent capstone may have served as a crucial component in a consciousness transfer or dimensional gateway system. Ancient descriptions of the pyramid's apex as a golden or crystalline structure suggest materials with unique electromagnetic properties that could focus and amplify mental energy or enable communication across vast distances through quantum entanglement or other advanced physical principles. The astronomical alignments throughout the pyramid complex indicate precise targeting of specific stellar destinations that Egyptian texts associate with the pharaoh's afterlife journey. The so-called air shafts point with remarkable accuracy towards stars significant in Egyptian mythology, suggesting these passages served as navigation aids or communication channels rather than simple ventilation systems. The Orion correlation demonstrates that pyramid builders possess detailed knowledge of stellar positions across multiple millennia, including understanding of precession and long-term celestial cycles that would be necessary for maintaining communications with distant cosmic locations. This astronomical sophistication suggests capabilities that exceed what conventional archaeology attributes to ancient Egyptian civilization. Recent discoveries of quantum properties in biological systems provide scientific frameworks for understanding how ancient consciousness transfer technologies might have functioned. Quantum coherence in microtubules, entanglement in neural networks, and other quantum biological phenomena suggest that consciousness may operate through physical principles that could theoretically be amplified or directed using appropriate technological interfaces. The preservation of consciousness information beyond physical death, if possible through quantum mechanisms, would require technological systems capable of detecting, recording, and transferring quantum states associated with individual awareness. The pyramid's sophisticated electromagnetic and acoustic properties could theoretically provide the precision control necessary for such advanced consciousness technologies. Ancient Egyptian concepts of multiple souls and consciousness components suggest understanding of awareness as complex, multidimensional phenomenon rather than simple biological function. The Ka, Ba, and other spiritual elements described in Egyptian texts may represent different aspects of consciousness that could be preserved and transferred using appropriate technological systems. The global distribution of pyramid structures and similar megalithic sites may represent components of a worldwide consciousness transfer network established by advanced civilizations. The consistent astronomical alignments, mathematical relationships, and construction techniques across different continents suggest coordinated system design rather than independent cultural development. Modern research into consciousness uploading and digital immortality parallels ancient Egyptian concepts of preserving individual awareness beyond physical death. The technological requirements for consciousness transfer, quantum computers, neural interfaces, and electromagnetic field manipulation show striking similarities to the capabilities that pyramid structures appear designed to provide. The sudden abandonment of pyramid construction after the Fourth Dynasty coincides with changes that suggest the loss of consciousness transfer technologies rather than purely cultural or religious shifts. Later pharaohs never achieved the precision and sophistication of Giza, as if essential technical knowledge was lost when original consciousness preservation systems ceased operation. Archaeological evidence from pyramid interiors reveals electromagnetic anomalies, acoustic phenomena, and temperature variations that create conditions theoretically conducive to altered states of consciousness or technological interface with mental processes. These environmental effects suggest intentional design for psychological or consciousness-related applications rather than purely ceremonial purposes. The absence of mummies or burial goods in the Great Pyramid supports interpretations of the monument as a consciousness transfer facility rather than a traditional tomb. The precision engineering and technological sophistication evident throughout the structure appears designed for active systems operation rather than passive memorial functions. Ancient accounts of divine transformation and resurrection within pyramid chambers may describe actual technological processes rather than purely spiritual events. The specific procedures described in religious texts, including preparation rituals, chamber sequences, and transformation stages, could represent operational protocols for consciousness preservation and transfer technologies. The mathematical relationships encoded in pyramid design correspond to frequencies and resonance patterns that could theoretically interface with neural activity and consciousness processes. The precision of these mathematical constants suggests systematic knowledge of brain function and awareness mechanisms that conventional history attributes to much later periods. Quantum field effects around pyramid structures, documented by various researchers, create electromagnetic conditions that could theoretically influence consciousness or enable interface with quantum information systems. These field characteristics suggest the monument's function as sophisticated technological installations rather than passive architectural achievements. The preservation of specific consciousness preservation techniques in Egyptian mystery schools and religious institutions demonstrates systematic efforts to maintain technological knowledge across generational changes. These educational systems may have preserved operational protocols for consciousness transfer technologies long after the original systems ceased functioning. As we contemplate the possibility that pyramids served as consciousness preservation and transfer facilities, we must consider whether ancient Egyptians possessed advanced understanding of awareness quantum mechanics and consciousness technology, or whether they built these systems following instructions from sources with capabilities that transcended normal physical limitations and enabled survival beyond biological death. As modern technology penetrates deeper into the heart of the Great Pyramid, revealing secrets that have remained hidden for millennia, each new discovery raises more questions than it answers, suggesting that our understanding of this ancient monument has barely scratched the surface of its true complexity and purpose. In 2017, an international team of scientists using muon tomography, a technique that detects cosmic ray particles passing through matter, announced the discovery of a previously unknown void within the Great Pyramid. This chamber, located above the Grand Gallery, measures approximately 100 feet in length and appears to have the same dimensions as the gallery below it, suggesting sophisticated architectural planning that incorporated hidden spaces into the monument's design. The discovery method itself speaks to the pyramid's resistance to conventional investigation techniques. Muon particles, created when cosmic rays collide with Earth's atmosphere, can penetrate solid rock but are absorbed at different rates by various materials. The hidden chamber revealed itself through an absence of muons, creating a shadow in the cosmic radiation that indicates empty space where solid stone should exist according to traditional architectural plans. The purpose of this concealed void remains one of archaeology's most tantalizing mysteries. Unlike the known chambers within the pyramid, this hidden space shows no evidence of access passages or connection to the monument's internal circulation system. Its location above the Grand Gallery suggests it may have served acoustic or structural functions related to the gallery as proposed role as a resonance amplifier in the pyramid's overall technological system. The precision required to construct such a large hidden chamber while maintaining the pyramid's external geometry demonstrates engineering capabilities that challenge our understanding of ancient Egyptian construction techniques. Creating this void would have required careful planning, sophisticated structural analysis, and construction methods that could support the enormous weight of stone while preserving the integrity of both the hidden chamber and surrounding passages. Ground-penetrating radar surveys of the pyramid have detected additional anomalies that may represent other hidden chambers, passages, or technological installations. These subsurface features show geometric patterns and material density variations that differ from the pyramid's known internal structure, suggesting that much of the monument's true complexity remains undiscovered. The electromagnetic properties of the hidden chamber, measured through advanced sensing techniques, reveal unusual field characteristics that distinguish it from solid stone areas. These electromagnetic anomalies suggest the chamber may contain materials, structures, or technological systems that create distinctive electrical or magnetic signatures detectable through modern scientific instruments. Previous explorations of the pyramid using robots, cameras, and drilling equipment have revealed tantalizing glimpses of additional spaces and structures within the monument. The door, discovered by Rudolf Gantenbrink's robot in the Queen's chamber shaft, complete with copper fittings and sealed stone barriers, suggests sophisticated access control systems that protect whatever lies beyond from casual discovery. The challenge of investigating these hidden chambers reflects both technical limitations and cultural sensitivities. Surrounding archaeological research at Giza, Egyptian authorities carefully regulate access to the monuments, balancing scientific curiosity with preservation concerns and cultural respect for ancient sites that hold deep significance for modern Egyptian identity. Thermal imaging of the pyramid has revealed temperature anomalies that indicate air circulation patterns, inconsistent with a solid stone structure. These thermal signatures suggest the existence of additional voids, passages, or systems that enable air movement through areas that should be solid masonry, according to conventional architectural understanding. The acoustic properties of known chambers become more intriguing when considered alongside the hidden void discoveries. The newly discovered chamber above the Grand Gallery may function as an acoustic coupling system that enhances or modifies sound transmission through the pyramid as internal structure, creating resonance effects that serve purposes beyond simple architectural aesthetics. Ancient accounts of treasure chambers and secret repositories within the pyramid gain new credibility as modern technology reveals the monument as hidden complexity. Arabic texts describe sealed chambers containing ancient wisdom, technological artifacts, and records of lost civilizations, descriptions that seemed fantastical until scientific investigation began revealing actual hidden spaces. The engineering required to seal these chambers so effectively that they remained undetected for millennia demonstrates sophisticated understanding of structural mechanics and material science. The builders created access control systems that protected these spaces from discovery, while maintaining the pyramid as structural integrity across thousands of years of environmental stress and human investigation. Speculation about the contents of these hidden chambers ranges from mundane storage areas to repositories of advanced technology or ancient wisdom. The careful concealment of these spaces suggests they contain materials or information that the pyramid's builders considered valuable enough to protect through elaborate engineering and architectural deception. The gradual revelation of the pyramid is true internal complexity through advanced technology suggests that each generation of investigators has understood only a fraction of the monument's sophistication. The hidden chambers represent physical proof that the pyramid contains secrets that conventional archaeology has yet to discover or comprehend. Current plans for investigating these hidden chambers involve minimally invasive techniques that could reveal their contents without damaging the monument as structure. Proposed methods include advanced robotics, enhanced imaging systems, and micro-drilling techniques that could provide access while preserving the chamber's integrity for future investigation. The discovery of hidden chambers transforms our understanding of the Great Pyramid from a well-explored monument to a layer unknown structure that continues to reveal new complexities. Each technological advance in archaeological investigation techniques unveils additional mysteries that deepen rather than resolve questions about the monument as true purpose and capabilities. As we contemplate these hidden spaces within humanity's greatest architectural achievement, we must consider what secrets they may contain and whether their contents will validate conventional understanding of ancient Egyptian capabilities or reveal technologies and knowledge that challenge fundamental assumptions about the pyramid as builders and their true intentions. Yet as we examine the archaeological record with fresh eyes, freed from the constraints of conventional interpretation, evidence for extraterrestrial influence on ancient civilizations may be hiding in plain sight, disguised as mythological symbolism, dismissed as artistic license, or overlooked as irrelevant anomalies that don't fit comfortable academic paradigms. The Nazca Lines in Peru present one of the most compelling examples of ancient artistic achievement that seems designed for aerial observation. These massive geoglyphs, some stretching for miles across the desert, create images that are only fully visible from altitudes that ancient Peruvian civilizations supposedly couldn't achieve. The precision of these lines, their mathematical relationships, and their apparent design for overhead viewing suggest either advanced surveying techniques or creation by beings capable of aerial observation. Ancient rock art worldwide depicts humanoid figures with characteristics that don't match any known human variations: enlarged craniums, unusual body proportions, and technological accessories that resemble modern descriptions of extraterrestrial beings. The consistency of these depictions across different cultures and continents suggests either universal human, psychological patterns, or shared experiences with non-human intelligences. The Sumerian cuneiform tablets contain detailed accounts of the Anunnaki beings from the sky who established civilization and taught humans agriculture, astronomy, and technology. While mainstream scholarship interprets these as mythological narratives, the technical precision of the descriptions, including specific genetic manipulation procedures and technological capabilities, suggests possible historical foundations rather than pure imagination. Megalithic construction sites worldwide demonstrate stoneworking precision that exceeds the capabilities attributed to their builders. The perfectly fitted blocks at sites like Puma Punku in Bolivia show machine-like precision in cutting and shaping that would challenge modern technology, while ancient tool marks suggest cutting techniques that don't match any known historical implements. The Vimana texts of ancient India describe flying vehicles with technical specifications that read like aerospace engineering manuals rather than mythological poetry. These Sanskrit documents provide detailed descriptions of propulsion systems, navigation techniques, and even aerial combat tactics with engineering precision that seems anachronistic for ancient literature, but remarkably prescient for modern aviation technology. Elongated skulls found at archaeological sites worldwide show characteristics that differ significantly from normal human cranial development. While mainstream archaeology attributes these to artificial cranial deformation practices, some specimens display volume increases and structural features that appear beyond what mechanical shaping could achieve, suggesting possible genetic variations or hybrid ancestry. Ancient electrical devices, such as the Baghdad battery and other electrochemical artifacts, demonstrate knowledge of electrical principles that conventional history attributes to much later periods. These devices suggest ancient civilizations possessed understanding of electrochemistry, metallurgy, and electrical applications that exceeded anything recorded in historical texts. Precision drilling and machining evidence at ancient sites reveals tool capabilities that do and match. Archaeological inventory of available ancient implements. Core samples from granite monuments show drilling speeds and precision that modern diamond-tipped equipment struggles to match, while surface finishes suggest machining techniques that exceed manual tool capabilities. Ancient maps showing geographical knowledge that exceeds historical surveying capabilities suggest either advanced ancient navigation techniques or access to aerial or orbital observation. Charts like the Piri-Reis map display coastlines and geographical features with accuracy that implies surveying methods beyond anything attributed to ancient civilizations. Astronomical knowledge encoded in ancient monuments demonstrates understanding of cosmic cycles, planetary mechanics, and stellar positions that required long-term observation and mathematical calculation capabilities. The precision of these astronomical alignments, particularly knowledge of precession in planetary orbits, suggests access to information that individual human civilizations couldn't accumulate through independent observation. Genetic anomalies in ancient human remains, including unusual DNA markers and physiological characteristics, may indicate admixture with non-human genetic sources. While conventional anthropology attributes human genetic diversity to natural evolution and migration, some genetic patterns suggest introduction of genetic material from sources outside normal human lineages. Archaeological cover-ups and suppression of anomalous discoveries by academic institutions suggest systematic efforts to maintain orthodox interpretations while ignoring evidence that challenges conventional timelines and capabilities. Researchers report pressure to conform findings to accepted paradigms, rather than following evidence toward conclusions that might challenge fundamental assumptions about human history. The sudden appearance of advanced civilizations without evidence of gradual technological development suggests external instruction or knowledge transfer rather than independent cultural evolution. Complex capabilities appear fully formed in archaeological record, implying teaching from sources with pre-existing advanced knowledge rather than slow discovery through trial and error. Modern UFO encounters show technological characteristics that parallel ancient descriptions of divine vehicles and celestial beings. The consistency between contemporary extraterrestrial encounter reports and ancient accounts of sky gods suggests ongoing interaction between humans and non-human intelligences across historical periods. Isotopic analysis of ancient artifacts reveals materials with characteristics that suggest non-terrestrial origins or manufacturing techniques that exceed ancient technological capabilities. Some artifacts contain isotope ratios that don't match terrestrial materials or show evidence of processing methods that require advanced technology. The preservation of specific technical knowledge through mystery schools and secret societies demonstrates systematic efforts to maintain information that mainstream culture has forgotten or suppressed. These educational institutions may have preserved knowledge of extraterrestrial contact and advanced technologies across historical periods when such information was considered dangerous or heretical. Archaeological dating anomalies, including out-of-place artifacts and technology that predates conventional technological development, suggest human history includes periods of advanced capability that challenge linear technological progression models. These temporal anomalies imply either cyclical technological development or influence from sources with advanced capabilities that transcend normal historical limitations. As we examine this accumulating evidence for extraterrestrial influence on ancient civilizations, we must consider whether these anomalies represent misinterpretation of natural phenomena, evidence of lost human technological capabilities, or traces of actual contact between ancient humans and intelligences with technological capabilities far exceeding anything achieved by terrestrial civilizations working independently. As the sacred knowledge of the heavens passed through generations of Egyptian priests, their astronomical achievements reveal mathematical precision and cosmic understanding that challenges conventional explanations of ancient capabilities, suggesting access to information that individual human observation alone could not have accumulated within historical timeframes. The Temple of Dendra houses one of history's most remarkable astronomical documents, a circular zodiac carved in stone that demonstrates sophisticated understanding of precession, planetary cycles, and stellar positions spanning thousands of years. This astronomical map shows knowledge of cosmic mechanics that supposedly wasn't formally calculated until much later civilizations developed advanced mathematics and observation techniques. Egyptian priest astronomers tracked the precession of equinoxes, the slow wobble of Earth's axis that causes star positions to shift over 25,920-year cycles. This knowledge required observations spanning multiple millennia and mathematical calculations that suggest either inherited wisdom from earlier civilizations or instruction from sources with pre-existing cosmic knowledge. The Sothic cycle, based on the heliacal rising of the star Sirius, demonstrates Egyptian astronomical precision that enabled accurate calendar calculations and flood predictions crucial for agricultural planning. But the mathematical relationships between Sothic cycles and other astronomical phenomena suggest understanding of cosmic mechanics that exceeds what individual human observation could achieve within recorded Egyptian history. Temple alignments throughout Egypt demonstrate systematic astronomical knowledge applied to architectural planning across multiple dynasties and geographical locations. The consistency of these alignments, particularly compensation for precession across different construction periods, suggests centralized astronomical knowledge maintained by priestly institutions with capabilities that exceed conventional explanations. The pyramid texts contain astronomical references so precise that modern computer programs can calculate the exact stellar positions they describe. These ancient religious documents demonstrate mathematical understanding of celestial mechanics that rivals modern astronomical knowledge while predating formal development of the mathematical techniques required for such calculations. Ancient Egyptian star catalogs, preserved in tomb paintings and temple inscriptions, show knowledge of stellar positions, magnitudes, and movements that required systematic observation and record-keeping across centuries. The accuracy of these star maps suggests observational capabilities and mathematical techniques that conventional archaeology struggles to explain within accepted technological limitations. The double calendar system used by Egyptian astronomers combining solar and lunar calculations with stellar observations demonstrates mathematical sophistication that enabled accurate timekeeping across multiple astronomical cycles simultaneously. This computational capability suggests systematic knowledge preservation and calculation techniques that exceed what individual human observers could develop independently. Egyptian astronomical instruments, including Merkhet sighting devices and shadow clocks, show precision manufacturing that enabled accurate celestial measurements. But the mathematical knowledge required to design and use these instruments effectively suggests theoretical understanding that preceded practical application, implying instruction from sources with pre-existing astronomical expertise. The correlation between Egyptian architectural projects and astronomical events demonstrates planning capabilities that required accurate prediction of celestial phenomena across decades or centuries. This long-term astronomical planning suggests access to mathematical models of cosmic mechanics that individual human civilizations could and develop through observation alone within historical timeframes. Religious texts describe priest astronomers receiving astronomical knowledge directly from gods who came from the sky and possessed complete understanding of cosmic mechanics. While mainstream scholarship interprets these as mythological narratives, the technical accuracy of the astronomical information suggests possible historical foundations rather than pure religious symbolism. The sudden appearance of sophisticated astronomical knowledge in early Egyptian civilization, without evidence of gradual development through observation and calculation, suggests external instruction rather than independent discovery. Complex astronomical capabilities appear fully formed in archaeological record, implying teaching from sources with advanced cosmic knowledge. Egyptian astronomical knowledge includes understanding of planetary orbits, lunar cycles, and stellar mechanics that required mathematical techniques supposedly not developed until much later civilizations. The precision of this knowledge, particularly understanding of planetary retrograde motion and orbital calculations, suggests access to mathematical frameworks beyond ancient capabilities. The preservation of astronomical knowledge through Egyptian mystery schools demonstrates systematic educational institutions designed to maintain cosmic wisdom across generational changes. These priestly academies may have preserved knowledge of extraterrestrial contact and astronomical instruction that mainstream culture couldn't safely maintain or understand. Modern verification of ancient Egyptian astronomical predictions confirms the accuracy of their cosmic calculations across thousands of years. Computer modeling validates Egyptian astronomical knowledge while raising questions about the sources of such precise information and the mathematical techniques used for calculations that challenged later civilizations. The integration of astronomical knowledge with architectural planning, religious practices, and agricultural scheduling demonstrates systematic understanding that treated cosmic mechanics as practical information rather than purely theoretical knowledge. This applied astronomy suggests instruction from sources with comprehensive understanding of cosmic principles and their earthly applications. The correlation between Egyptian astronomical knowledge and global megalithic sites suggests shared sources of cosmic information that transcended individual civilizations. Similar astronomical alignments, mathematical relationships, and celestial correlations appear worldwide with consistency that implies coordinated knowledge distribution rather than independent discovery. Ancient accounts describe astronomical instruction received through direct communication with celestial beings who possessed complete knowledge of cosmic mechanics. The technical precision of this transmitted information, confirmed by modern astronomical calculation, suggests actual contact with intelligences possessing advanced cosmic knowledge rather than purely mythological encounters. The decline in astronomical precision after certain historical periods suggests the loss of original knowledge sources rather than natural cultural evolution. Later Egyptian astronomy never achieved the precision and sophistication of earlier periods, as if essential instruction was withdrawn or original sources of cosmic knowledge became unavailable. As we examine the remarkable astronomical achievements of Egyptian priest astronomers, we must consider whether such precise cosmic knowledge could develop naturally within individual human civilizations, or whether it represents instruction from sources with advanced understanding of cosmic mechanics that enabled them to share complete astronomical knowledge with earthbound students who preserve this wisdom in stone and sacred texts. As geological evidence accumulates and dating methodologies become more sophisticated, the accepted timeline for pyramid construction faces mounting challenges that may revolutionize our understanding of when these monuments were built and by whom, suggesting origins far more ancient than conventional archaeology dares to acknowledge. Water erosion patterns on the Sphinx, documented through detailed geological analysis, tell a story that contradicts established chronology. The deep vertical channels carved into the monument's limestone body require prolonged exposure to heavy rainfall weather conditions that haven't existed in Egypt for thousands of years before the conventional dating of Sphinx construction during Khafare's reign around 2500 BCE. Geologist Robert Schoch, as analysis of Sphinx weathering patterns indicates the monument experienced significant water erosion during periods when Egypt's climate was much wetter than historical records suggest. This erosion evidence pushes the Sphinx's construction back to at least 7000 to 9000 BCE, placing its origins in the Green Sahara period, when abundant rainfall could have created the observed weathering patterns. The implications of such ancient dating extend beyond the Sphinx to challenge the entire chronology of Giza's monuments. If the Sphinx predates dynastic Egyptian civilization by thousands of years, the technological and organizational capabilities required for its construction suggest the existence of advanced pre-dynastic cultures that conventional archaeology has yet to Acknowledge or discover. Radiocarbon dating of organic materials found within pyramid mortar yields dates that are centuries older than conventional pyramid chronology allows. While Egyptologists explain these anomalies as contamination from older organic materials or recycled construction components, the consistent pattern of older dates across multiple pyramid sites suggests systematic chronological problems rather than isolated contamination events. Astronomical alignments encoded in pyramid design point to stellar positions that don't match the conventional construction dates. The Orion correlation, for example, shows optimal alignment around 10,500 BCE rather than 2,500 BCE, suggesting either incredibly sophisticated astronomical calculation that compensated for thousands of years of precession or actual construction during the earlier period. Salt erosion patterns in the Queen S chamber indicate prolonged chemical processes that require much more time than conventional chronology allows. The extent of salt deposition and chemical weathering suggests the chamber experienced active chemical processes for thousands of years longer than the accepted timeline permits, implying either much earlier construction or unknown accelerated weathering processes. Sediment analysis around pyramid foundations reveals geological layers that suggest the monuments were built during different environmental conditions than those recorded during dynastic Egyptian periods. These geological contexts indicate construction during periods of different climate, hydrology, and environmental conditions than historical records describe for the conventional construction periods. The precision of pyramid construction appears to exceed the technological capabilities that conventional archaeology attributes to the 4th Dynasty period. The mathematical sophistication, engineering precision, and construction techniques evident at Giza seem more consistent with technological capabilities that developed over much longer periods than conventional chronology allows. Alternative dating methodologies, including thermoluminescence and other techniques, yield dates for pyramid construction materials that consistently predate conventional chronology. While mainstream archaeology dismisses these results as methodological problems, the consistency of older dates across multiple independent testing methods suggests chronological assumptions rather than analytical errors. The absence of developmental stages in pyramid construction, technology challenges evolutionary models of architectural advancement. The Great Pyramid demonstrates sophisticated capabilities that appear suddenly in archaeological record without evidence of gradual technological development through observable intermediate stages, suggesting either external instruction or much longer development periods than conventional timelines allow. Underground chambers and passages show evidence of construction phases that predate the pyramid superstructures, indicating site preparation and foundation work that began thousands of years before conventional dating places pyramid construction. These subterranean features demonstrate planning and construction activities that extend chronology far beyond accepted timelines. Tooling marks and construction techniques evident in pyramid stonework don't match the implements and methods that archaeology attributes to 4th Dynasty Egyptians. The precision of cutting, drilling, and surface finishing suggests technological capabilities that either developed over much longer periods or involved instruction from sources with advanced technical knowledge. A correlation between pyramid construction and global megalithic sites suggests coordinated building programs that required communication and planning across time periods much longer than conventional chronology allows. The consistency of techniques and astronomical alignments worldwide implies systematic knowledge distribution that needed extended time periods for global implementation. Ancient texts contain references to much older construction dates that predate conventional pyramid chronology by thousands of years. While Egyptologists interpret these as mythological or symbolic timelines, the specific numerical relationships and astronomical correlations suggest possible historical accuracy rather than purely religious symbolism. The preservation state of pyramid stonework shows weathering patterns that suggest much longer exposure to environmental conditions than conventional dating permits. The differential erosion of different stone types and the patterns of structural settling indicate the monuments have endured environmental stresses across time, periods that exceed accepted chronological frameworks. Genetic analysis of human remains associated with pyramid construction yields dates that predate conventional chronology while showing technological sophistication that challenges evolutionary models of cultural development. These genetic timelines suggest populations with advanced capabilities existed thousands of years before conventional archaeology acknowledges sophisticated civilization in Egypt. The mathematical relationships encoded in pyramid design require observational periods spanning multiple millennia to accumulate through natural astronomical observation. The precision of these calculations suggests either inherited knowledge from much earlier periods or access to astronomical information that individual civilizations could not gather within conventional chronological limits. Comparative analysis with other ancient megalithic sites worldwide reveals construction techniques and astronomical knowledge that appear simultaneously across different continents during periods that conventional archaeology considers impossible for coordinated cultural exchange. This global synchronicity suggests either much longer development periods or instruction from common sources with advanced capabilities. As we confront these chronological paradoxes and geological evidence that challenges accepted pyramid dating, we must consider whether conventional chronology accurately reflects ancient Egyptian capabilities and timelines, or whether the monuments represent achievements of much older civilizations with technological sophistication that conventional archaeology has systematically underestimated or ignored. Meanwhile, as archaeologists and linguists study megalithic monuments across continents, a remarkable pattern emerges that suggests these stone structures may constitute humanity's first universal language, one that transcends cultural boundaries and speaks directly to future civilizations through mathematical principles, astronomical alignments, and geometric relationships that encode cosmic knowledge in permanent, indestructible form. The mathematical constants embedded within megalithic structures worldwide demonstrate remarkable consistency that defies explanations based on coincidence or independent cultural development. Pi, the golden ratio, and other fundamental mathematical relationships appear encoded in monuments across different continents and time periods, suggesting either shared mathematical instruction or access to common sources of cosmic knowledge. Stone circles, pyramids, and megalithic complexes from Stonehenge to Easter Island incorporate identical astronomical alignments that track celestial phenomena across multiple cosmic cycles. This global consistency and astronomical orientation suggests coordinated knowledge of celestial mechanics that transcended individual civilizations and may have been deliberately designed to preserve astronomical information for future discovery. The precision of stone cutting and fitting techniques at megalithic sites worldwide shows technological capabilities that conventional archaeology struggles to explain within accepted limitations of ancient tools and methods. From Peru to Egypt to Easter Island, massive stone blocks fit together with tolerances that challenge modern engineering, suggesting either advanced ancient technologies or instruction from sources with superior technical knowledge. Acoustic properties of megalithic chambers demonstrate sophisticated understanding of sound physics that appear simultaneously across different cultures without apparent contact. Stone chambers at sites worldwide create identical resonance effects, frequency responses, and acoustic phenomena that suggest systematic knowledge of sound engineering principles applied to architectural design. The geometric relationships between megalithic sites across global distances reveal mathematical planning that required accurate knowledge of Earth's dimensions and geographical coordinates. The positioning of monuments relative to each other follows patterns that suggest either advanced ancient surveying capabilities or designed by intelligences with complete geographical knowledge of planetary surface features. Symbolic carvings and artistic motifs at megalithic sites show remarkable similarities across cultures that had no known contact during construction periods. Spiral patterns, astronomical symbols, and geometric designs appear consistently worldwide, suggesting either universal human psychological patterns or shared symbolic instruction from common sources. The scale of megalithic construction projects worldwide implies organizational capabilities and resource coordination that exceeded anything achieved by later civilizations. Moving massive stones across vast distances, coordinating construction across multiple sites, and maintaining precision standards across different projects suggests technological and organizational capabilities that challenge conventional understanding of ancient limitations. The durability of megalithic construction demonstrates knowledge of materials science and structural engineering that enabled monuments to survive environmental conditions that destroyed later architectural achievements. The preservation techniques used in megalithic construction suggest understanding of geological processes, weathering patterns, and structural mechanics that exceeded capabilities attributed to ancient cultures. Archaeological evidence from megalithic sites reveals construction techniques that appear suddenly in different locations without developmental phases or learning curves. Complex capabilities emerge fully formed across multiple continents, implying either rapid knowledge transfer or instruction from sources with pre-existing technical expertise rather than gradual independent development. The integration of astronomical, mathematical, and engineering knowledge in megalithic design suggests educational systems that could preserve and transmit complex information across generations and geographical distances. The consistency of this knowledge across different cultures implies systematic instruction rather than accidental discovery or coincidental development. Modern attempts to decode the messages encoded in megalithic monuments continue to reveal new layers of information embedded in stone arrangements, geometric relationships, and astronomical alignments. Computer analysis suggests these monuments function as information storage systems designed to preserve knowledge across timescales that exceed human civilization lifespans. The positioning of megalithic monuments relative to geological features demonstrates understanding of Earth's internal structure and energy systems that parallels modern geophysical knowledge. Sites are located at specific geographical coordinates that correspond to tectonic features, magnetic anomalies, and other geological phenomena that weren't formally understood until modern Earth sciences developed. Underground chambers and passage systems at megalithic sites show evidence of acoustic and electromagnetic phenomena that create altered states of consciousness or enhanced mental capabilities. These environmental effects suggest intentional design for psychological applications that could facilitate knowledge transmission or enhanced learning capabilities. The mathematical relationships between different megalithic sites reveal global planning that required coordination across vast distances and extended time periods. As spacing alignments and proportional relationships between monuments follow patterns that suggest systematic design rather than independent cultural development. Recent discoveries of previously unknown megalithic sites continue to expand the global scope of ancient stone construction, while revealing new examples of the technological sophistication and mathematical precision that characterize these monuments. Each new discovery reinforces patterns that suggest coordinated global construction programs rather than isolated cultural achievements. The preservation of specific construction techniques across different megalithic sites demonstrates knowledge transmission systems that maintain technical precision across geographical and temporal distances. The consistency of methods suggests educational institutions or instruction sources that could preserve and distribute complex technical information across different cultures and time periods. Geological analysis of megalithic sites reveals construction during environmental conditions that differ from current climates, suggesting the monuments were built during periods when Earth's geography and climate supported different human capabilities and organizational structures than historical records describe for later civilizations. The symbolic function of megalithic monuments as information preservation systems becomes more apparent as researchers decode the multiple layers of knowledge embedded in their design. These stone libraries appear designed to communicate across cultural and temporal boundaries, preserving essential information for future civilizations that might develop the technological capabilities necessary for complete decoding. As we contemplate the global distribution and remarkable consistency of megalithic monuments, we must consider whether these structures represent independent human achievements or components of a coordinated knowledge preservation system designed by intelligences with capabilities that transcended normal human limitations and enabled them to create permanent repositories of cosmic wisdom embedded in indestructible stone. But as explorers and archaeologists ventured deeper into the sealed chambers of ancient Egypt, they encountered phenomena that challenged rational explanation and gave birth to legends that persist to this day. The mysterious deaths, illnesses, and misfortunes that befell those who disturbed the eternal rest of the pharaohs, raising questions about whether these were mere coincidences, natural hazards, or something far more sophisticated. The death of Lord Carnarvon, financial sponsor of Howard Carter's expedition that discovered Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, marked the beginning of modern curse mythology. Carnarvon died in Cairo just months after the tomb's opening, reportedly from an infected mosquito bite that developed into fatal pneumonia. At the moment of his death, witnesses claimed the lights went out across Cairo, and his dog in England reportedly howled and died simultaneously. Medical analysis of mummies and tomb contents reveals the presence of dangerous pathogens that could explain many curse-related deaths and illnesses. Aspergillus flavus and other fungi found in sealed Egyptian tombs produce toxins that cause respiratory problems, fever, and organ failure symptoms that match many reported curse victims. These biological hazards provide rational explanations for the mysterious ailments that plagued tomb explorers. Yet the statistical clustering of deaths and misfortunes among those specifically involved with certain tomb openings suggests patterns that exceed normal probability distributions. The timing, severity, and specific targeting of individuals most directly involved in tomb violations create statistical anomalies that challenge purely coincidental explanations while supporting beliefs in supernatural protection mechanisms. Ancient Egyptian protective spells and ritual texts describe specific procedures for safeguarding tombs against violation, including curses that would bring death, disease, and disaster to anyone who disturbed royal burials. These magical protections were taken seriously by ancient priests and embalmers who believed supernatural forces could be invoked to punish tomb robbers and preserve sacred spaces. The psychological effects of curse beliefs may create physiological symptoms through stress-induced immune suppression and psychosomatic illness development. Explorers who believed in curse powers might have weakened their own resistance to natural hazards while focusing attention on minor symptoms that developed into serious health problems through worry and stress. Radioactive materials found in some Egyptian tombs provide another potential explanation for curse-related illnesses. Certain minerals used in mummy preparation and tomb decoration contain naturally occurring radioactive elements that could cause radiation sickness in individuals exposed during excavation work. These radioactive hazards weren't understood during early archaeological investigations. The precision of some curse effects, including specific targeting of primary violators while sparing associated personnel, suggests either remarkable coincidence or protective mechanisms with intelligence-based selection capabilities. The discriminating nature of these effects challenges explanations based on simple environmental hazards that would affect all exposed individuals equally. Modern investigations using advanced sensors have detected electromagnetic anomalies, infrasound frequencies, and other environmental phenomena within certain Egyptian tombs that could affect human physiology and psychology. These measurable effects might explain some curse symptoms through natural mechanisms that were understood by early explorers who interpreted them as supernatural forces. Ancient Egyptian technology for creating protective mechanisms may have included sophisticated engineering systems that conventional archaeology has yet to recognize or understand. Hidden chambers, concealed mechanisms, and environmental control systems within tombs could have been designed to create hazardous conditions for unauthorized intruders while protecting legitimate visitors. The cultural transmission of curse beliefs through popular media and academic discussions created expectation effects that influenced both the reporting and interpretation of tomb-related incidents. Media attention focused on mysterious deaths while ignoring the many individuals who explored tombs without experiencing any negative effects, creating biased perception of curse frequency and effectiveness. Alternative researchers propose that ancient Egyptian priests possessed advanced knowledge of psychological manipulation, chemical compounds, and physical phenomena that enabled them to create genuinely effective protective systems. These technological protections might have used principles that modern science recognizes, but that conventional archaeology attributes to much later historical periods. The timing of curse incidents often correlates with specific tomb violation activities, such as removing artifacts, disturbing mummies, or penetrating sealed chambers. This correlation suggests either coincidental relationship with hazardous activities or protective mechanisms that responded to specific types of disturbance rather than general tomb exploration. Chemical analysis of tomb atmospheres reveals complex mixtures of volatile compounds produced by decomposition processes, mineral reactions, and artificial preservation materials. Prolonged exposure to these chemical environments could cause neurological symptoms, respiratory problems, and other health effects that early explorers might have attributed to supernatural causes. The documentation of curse incidents reveals patterns of selective reporting and interpretive bias that exaggerated supernatural explanations while minimizing natural causes. Medical records, accident reports, and contemporary accounts often provide rational explanations for deaths and illnesses that later became attributed to curse effects. Through popular mythology, ancient accounts describe tomb protection systems that combined physical hazards, psychological intimidation, and spiritual beliefs to create comprehensive security measures. These multi-layered protective approaches might have been more effective than individual components alone, creating real risks for tomb violators through both natural and psychological mechanisms. The persistence of curse beliefs among modern researchers and visitors to Egyptian sites demonstrates the psychological power of these protective concepts, even when rational explanations exist for associated phenomena. The effectiveness of curse beliefs as psychological deterrents may have been their primary protective mechanism, rather than any supernatural capabilities. Recent archaeological investigations, using proper safety protocols and modern medical knowledge, have substantially reduced the incidence of mysterious deaths and illnesses among tomb explorers. This reduction supports explanations based on natural hazards that can be mitigated through appropriate precautions, rather than supernatural forces that would affect victims regardless of protective measures. As we examine the evidence for curse phenomena associated with Egyptian tomb exploration, we must consider whether these incidents represent coincidental deaths from natural causes, effects of sophisticated ancient protective technologies that conventional archaeology has yet to understand, or psychological and physiological responses to powerful belief systems that demonstrate the complex relationship between human expectations and experienced reality. As the academic establishment grapples with mounting evidence that challenges conventional archaeological narratives, the battle lines between orthodox scholarship and alternative research reveal fundamental disagreements about methodology, evidence evaluation, and the willingness to consider possibilities that transcend comfortable paradigms of human historical development. Mainstream archaeology maintains its position through rigorous adherence to scientific methodology, peer review processes, and evidence-based conclusions that require extraordinary proof for extraordinary claims. This conservative approach protects scholarship from speculation and ensures that accepted historical narratives rest on solid empirical foundations. But it may also create institutional resistance to evidence that challenges established paradigms. The academic investment in current historical frameworks creates professional and institutional pressures to defend existing interpretations rather than acknowledge evidence that might revolutionize understanding of ancient capabilities. Careers, reputations, and institutional funding depend on maintaining orthodox positions, creating systemic bias against research that challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient human limitations. Alternative researchers argue that academic orthodoxy suppresses evidence and silences dissenting voices through institutional control over publication, funding, and professional recognition. They contend that genuinely revolutionary discoveries are dismissed or ignored when they threaten established theoretical frameworks, preventing scientific progress and maintaining outdated understanding of ancient achievements. The peer review process, while essential for maintaining academic standards, may inadvertently filter out innovative research that challenges conventional wisdom. Reviewers trained in orthodox interpretations might reject papers that propose alternative explanations for archaeological evidence, creating publication bias that reinforces existing paradigms while suppressing potentially groundbreaking insights. Funding mechanisms for archaeological research favor projects that support established historical narratives while discriminating against investigations that might challenge orthodox interpretations. This financial bias shapes research priorities and methodologies, directing scholarly attention toward confirmatory studies while discouraging exploration of alternative possibilities. The specialization of academic disciplines creates intellectual silos that prevent comprehensive analysis of evidence, requiring interdisciplinary expertise. Archaeological training focuses on cultural interpretation while minimizing technical analysis, engineering assessment, or scientific investigation that might reveal technological capabilities exceeding conventional expectations for ancient civilizations. Popular interest in alternative archaeological theories reflects widespread dissatisfaction with orthodox explanations that seem inadequate to explain remarkable ancient achievements. Millions of people find conventional narratives unconvincing while being attracted to alternative theories that acknowledge the sophistication and mystery of ancient accomplishments. The burden of proof standards applied to alternative theories often exceed those required for orthodox interpretations, creating unequal evaluation criteria that favor established positions. While alternative researchers must provide overwhelming evidence for their claims, conventional archaeology maintains accepted interpretations, despite significant gaps and inconsistencies in supporting evidence. Media representation of archaeological controversies typically polarizes debates between extreme positions while ignoring nuanced middle ground that might acknowledge both legitimate criticism of orthodox positions and problems with alternative theories. This polarization prevents productive dialogue and collaborative investigation that could advance understanding. Educational institutions perpetuate orthodox interpretations through curricula that present established positions as settled science while marginalizing alternative perspectives. This educational bias shapes new generations of scholars who accept conventional paradigms without critical examination of their foundations or consideration of alternative possibilities. The emotional attachment to particular theoretical positions prevents objective evaluation of evidence that challenges preferred interpretations. Both orthodox and alternative researchers may become invested in specific conclusions that bias their analysis and prevent fair consideration of conflicting evidence. Professional archaeologists argue that alternative researchers lack proper training, methodology, and credentials necessary for valid archaeological interpretation. They contend that amateur investigators misunderstand evidence, ignore context, and propose conclusions that trained scholars would recognize as unsupported speculation. The reproducibility crisis affecting many scientific disciplines extends to archaeology, where subjective interpretation, cultural bias, and theoretical preconceptions influence conclusions drawn from ambiguous evidence. This methodological uncertainty affects both orthodox and alternative research, raising questions about the reliability of any definitive historical conclusions. International cooperation in archaeological research faces political and cultural barriers that prevent comprehensive investigation of controversial sites and evidence. Government restrictions, cultural sensitivities, and nationalist agendas limit access to important archaeological sites while controlling the narrative about their significance and interpretation. Technological advances in archaeological investigation continue to reveal new evidence that challenges both orthodox and alternative interpretations while raising questions that neither perspective fully addresses. Advanced sensing techniques, dating methodologies, and analytical tools generate data that doesn't fit neatly into existing theoretical frameworks. The globalization of information through digital media enables alternative researchers to bypass traditional academic gatekeepers while reaching audiences worldwide. This democratization of archaeological discourse challenges institutional control over historical narratives, but also enables the spread of unsupported speculation and pseudoscientific claims. Corporate and government interests in controlling archaeological narratives may suppress evidence that challenges official historical accounts or threatens economic and political stability. Hidden agendas, classified research, and suppressed discoveries could prevent public access to evidence that would revolutionize understanding of ancient achievements. The philosophical implications of acknowledging advanced ancient capabilities or extraterrestrial influence challenge fundamental assumptions about human nature, cultural development, and humanity's place in the cosmos. These profound implications create resistance that transcends academic disagreements to touch core beliefs about human identity and significance. Cross-cultural validation of archaeological interpretations faces challenges from Western academic dominance that may dismiss or misunderstand indigenous knowledge systems, oral traditions, and alternative ways of understanding ancient achievements. This cultural bias prevents incorporation of valuable perspectives that could enhance archaeological understanding. As we navigate the complex landscape of archaeological controversy, we must consider whether the resistance to alternative theories reflects appropriate scientific skepticism that protects knowledge from speculation, or whether institutional bias prevents acknowledgement of evidence that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient human achievements and their possible connections to intelligences beyond conventional historical limitations. But another possibility emerges as we step back from the heated debates about alien intervention and consider what the pyramids might teach us about human potential itself, lessons that transcend questions of extraterrestrial involvement to reveal profound insights about creativity, cooperation, and the remarkable achievements possible when human consciousness reaches toward cosmic understanding. The mathematical precision embedded within the pyramids demonstrates capabilities that exist within human potential, whether achieved through individual genius, collective intelligence, or guidance from advanced sources. The encoding of pi, the golden ratio, and Earth's dimensions in stone represents mathematical thinking that connects terrestrial architecture with cosmic principles, showing how human consciousness can bridge the gap between earthly construction and universal constants. The organizational achievements required for pyramid construction reveal human capacity for cooperation and coordination that exceeds anything accomplished by modern civilization. 20,000 workers laboring in harmony toward a shared vision, sustained by complex logistics and unified purpose, demonstrates social capabilities that challenge contemporary assumptions about human limitations and competitive instincts. The astronomical knowledge reflected in pyramid alignments suggests human ability to perceive patterns and relationships across vast scales of space and time. whether developed through generations of patient observation or received through instruction from advanced sources. This cosmic awareness demonstrates consciousness capable of transcending immediate sensory experience to comprehend universal principles. The precision of pyramid construction techniques reveals human potential for perfection and attention to detail that modern technology struggles to match. The tolerances achieved in stone cutting, the accuracy of measurements, and the durability of construction demonstrate capabilities that suggest human consciousness, when properly focused and directed, can achieve results that approach perfection. The symbolic significance of pyramids as bridges between earth and sky reflects human aspiration to transcend physical limitations and connect with cosmic intelligence. This architectural metaphor for spiritual ascension demonstrates consciousness that refuses to accept material boundaries and persistently reaches toward higher understanding and cosmic connection. The preservation of knowledge across millennia through pyramid design shows human ability to think beyond individual lifespans and create lasting contributions to collective understanding. The mathematical and astronomical information encoded in stone represents thinking that prioritizes long-term knowledge preservation over immediate practical benefits, demonstrating consciousness capable of transgenerational responsibility. The global distribution of pyramid construction suggests human capacity for shared vision and common purpose that transcends cultural boundaries and geographical isolation. Whether achieved through communication networks, inherited wisdom, or universal human inspiration, the worldwide consistency of pyramid building demonstrates consciousness that can overcome apparent limitations of distance and cultural difference. The integration of multiple disciplines in pyramid design, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, and architecture reveals human ability to synthesize complex knowledge systems into unified achievements. This holistic thinking demonstrates consciousness capable of perceiving connections between apparently separate domains of knowledge and creating integrated solutions to complex challenges. The mystery surrounding pyramid construction methods suggests human potential that may exceed current capabilities, whether through lost techniques, enhanced consciousness states, or guidance from advanced sources. The gaps in our understanding may reflect not ancient limitations, but contemporary inability to comprehend the full scope of human potential when properly developed and applied. The inspiration that pyramids continue to provide across cultures and centuries demonstrates their function as catalysts for human imagination and aspiration. These monuments activate consciousness toward greater possibilities and challenge individuals to transcend accepted limitations, suggesting that their ultimate purpose may be to awaken human potential rather than simply preserve ancient achievements. The debates surrounding pyramid construction reveal human consciousness, grappling with questions about its own capabilities and place in the cosmos. Whether we attribute these achievements to human ingenuity alone or extraterrestrial guidance, the discussion itself demonstrates consciousness seeking to understand its relationship with intelligence, creativity, and cosmic forces. The technological sophistication evident in pyramid construction suggests human ability to develop capabilities that appear impossible from contemporary perspectives. This suggests that consciousness, when properly focused and supported, may be capable of achievements that transcend current technological limitations and open possibilities for future human development. The spiritual significance attributed to pyramids across cultures demonstrates human recognition of these monuments as expressions of love, consciousness reaching toward cosmic understanding. This universal spiritual response suggests that pyramids activate awareness of connections between individual consciousness and universal intelligence, regardless of their actual construction methods. A scientific investigation of pyramid anomalies reveals human determination to understand mysterious phenomena through systematic investigation and logical analysis. This commitment to knowledge and understanding, even when faced with apparently inexplicable evidence, demonstrates consciousness that refuses to accept mystery as final and persistently seeks comprehension. The educational value of pyramid studies lies not only in historical knowledge, but in expanding human conception of what may be possible through focused intention, collaborative effort, and connection with cosmic principles. These monuments serve as examples of achievement that challenge contemporary limitations while providing inspiration for future human development. The psychological impact of pyramid experiences on modern visitors suggests these structures continue to function as consciousness-altering environments that activate human potential for expanded awareness and cosmic connection. This ongoing effect demonstrates that pyramids may serve as permanent installations for consciousness development rather than simply historical artifacts. The artistic and architectural influence of pyramids throughout history shows their continuing role as symbols of human aspiration and achievement. Their geometric forms and mathematical relationships continue to inspire creativity and innovation, suggesting that their ultimate legacy may be their capacity to stimulate human imagination toward greater possibilities. The philosophical questions raised by pyramid research challenge human consciousness to consider its relationship with intelligence, creativity, and cosmic forces. These monuments force examination of assumptions about human capabilities while opening possibilities for understanding consciousness as part of larger universal intelligence systems. As we contemplate the lessons that pyramids offer about human potential and cosmic connection, we must consider whether these monuments represent the peak of ancient human achievement, evidence of extraterrestrial guidance, or something more profound, permanent installations designed to activate human consciousness toward its highest possibilities and cosmic destiny. As we approach the heart of this ancient mystery, we must confront the most profound question of all. If extraterrestrial intelligences truly guided the construction of the pyramids, what did they hope to achieve through their intervention in human civilization? And what message might they have intended for us to discover when we finally develop the technological capability to decode their architectural communications? The pyramids, viewed as extraterrestrial communications, represent a message system designed to transcend the limitations of time, language, and cultural change. Unlike written texts that become obsolete or oral traditions that fade with cultural transformation, mathematical relationships embedded in stone remain readable by any intelligence that develops scientific understanding, creating a universal language that bridges species and eons. The timing of pyramid construction, if guided by extraterrestrial intelligence, suggests intervention during a crucial period in human development when our species had achieved sufficient sophistication to participate in complex construction projects, while remaining malleable enough to receive instruction and guidance. This optimal window would enable knowledge transfer without overwhelming primitive human consciousness or threatening established civilizations. The mathematical and astronomical information coded in pyramid design could represent a cosmic curriculum designed to guide human intellectual development toward understanding universal principles. Each decoded relationship pi, the golden ratio, Earth's dimensions, stellar positions represents a lesson in cosmic mathematics that gradually expands human consciousness toward comprehension of universal intelligence and cosmic order. The global distribution of pyramid construction might indicate a systematic educational program designed to ensure knowledge preservation across multiple human civilizations and geographical regions. By establishing similar monuments worldwide, extraterrestrial teachers could safeguard cosmic knowledge against local disasters, cultural collapse, or regional catastrophes that might otherwise destroy crucial information. The technological demonstrations evident in pyramid construction, precision cutting, massive stone transport, acoustic engineering could serve as proof of concept displays designed to inspire human technological development while demonstrating possibilities for future achievement. These demonstrations would provide concrete evidence of advanced capabilities while challenging humans to develop their own technological solutions. The spiritual and consciousness-related aspects of pyramid design suggest extraterrestrial recognition of human consciousness as the key to species development and cosmic integration. The monuments might be designed to activate specific awareness states, enhance mental capabilities, or facilitate consciousness expansion necessary for eventual communication with cosmic intelligence networks. The preservation of specific knowledge through mystery schools and religious institutions indicates extraterrestrial understanding of human psychology and social structures. By embedding essential information within cultural and religious frameworks, alien teachers could ensure knowledge transmission across generations while protecting it from suppression by political or religious authorities threatened by advanced concepts. The gradual revelation of pyramid secrets through advancing human technology suggests a planned disclosure system designed to release information as humanity develops the scientific capability to understand and apply cosmic knowledge responsibly. Each technological advance that reveals new pyramid mysteries represents another lesson in the cosmic curriculum becoming available for human study. The correlation between pyramid alignments and cosmic phenomena could represent a stellar communication network that connects human civilization with broader galactic intelligence systems. The monuments might function as nodes in a cosmic internet, enabling communication across interstellar distances through quantum entanglement, dimensional interfaces, or other advanced physics principles. The emphasis on consciousness preservation, evident in pyramid burial chambers, might reflect extraterrestrial knowledge of consciousness as a conservable quantity that transcends biological death. The monuments could be designed to demonstrate consciousness transfer technologies, preserve individual awareness beyond physical life, or prepare humanity for eventual consciousness uploading or digital immortality. The mathematical relationships that connect pyramid design to cosmic constants suggest extraterrestrial intention to reveal the mathematical foundations of reality itself. By encoding universal constants in architectural form, alien teachers could guide human development toward understanding the computational nature of universe and humanity's role within cosmic information processing systems. The acoustic and electromagnetic properties of pyramid chambers might demonstrate technologies for consciousness interface, telepathic communication, or mental enhancement that extraterrestrial intelligences use for interspecies communication. These environmental effects could serve as training systems designed to prepare human consciousness for eventual direct mental contact with cosmic intelligence networks. The longevity of pyramid construction demonstrates extraterrestrial understanding of geological timescales and long-term species development. The monuments were built to survive ice ages, climate changes, and civilizational collapses, suggesting creators who think in terms of species evolution rather than individual lifespans or cultural periods. The absence of obvious technology or artificial materials in pyramid construction might reflect extraterrestrial wisdom about human psychological readiness for advanced knowledge. By demonstrating capabilities through achievable means rather than obviously alien technology, the builders avoided overwhelming human consciousness while still providing inspiration and guidance. The integration of multiple knowledge systems, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, consciousness studies in pyramid design could represent a holistic educational approach that recognizes the interconnected nature of cosmic intelligence. Rather than teaching isolated subjects, the monuments demonstrate unified understanding that connects physical sciences with consciousness development and spiritual awareness. The continuing mystery surrounding pyramid construction might be intentional, designed to ensure that each generation of humans must actively engage with the monuments to extract their lessons. This ongoing puzzle-solving requirement could serve as a perpetual intelligence test that measures human readiness for advanced cosmic knowledge and eventual contact with galactic civilizations. The emotional and spiritual responses that pyramids evoke in human visitors suggest extraterrestrial understanding of human psychology and the importance of wonder, inspiration, and aspiration in consciousness development. The monuments might be designed to activate specific emotional states and enhance learning, expand awareness, and prepare consciousness for cosmic integration. The challenge of definitively proving extraterrestrial involvement in pyramid construction could itself be part of the intended lesson, requiring humans to develop discernment, critical thinking, and the ability to consider possibilities beyond conventional limitations. This ongoing uncertainty forces consciousness expansion while preventing dogmatic acceptance of easy answers. As we contemplate what extraterrestrial intelligences might have hoped to accomplish through pyramid construction, we must consider whether these monuments represent gifts of knowledge, consciousness development tools, communication systems, or something even more profound, invitations to join a cosmic community of intelligence that spans the galaxy and connects all conscious beings through shared understanding of universal principles. As the eternal stars begin their nightly dance above the Giza Plateau, and the last echoes of tourist voices fade into the desert wind, the pyramids settle into the profound silence that has been their natural state for millennia. In this quiet moment, suspended between the known and the unknowable, we find ourselves no closer to definitive answers than when we first began our journey, yet infinitely richer in questions that may be more valuable than any conclusions. The Great Pyramid stands unchanged by our speculation, indifferent to our theories, maintaining the same mysterious presence that has challenged human understanding since the first curious observers wondered at its impossible perfection. Each block of limestone, each precisely cut granite chamber, each mathematically perfect relationship continues to wait patiently for comprehension that may still lie generations in the future. Tonight, as cooling air moves through passages that have channeled desert winds for thousands of years, the pyramid maintains its secrets with the same silent dignity that has frustrated and inspired investigators across centuries of human inquiry. No amount of scanning technology, computer modeling, or theoretical speculation has forced these monuments to reveal their ultimate truth, suggesting that their mysteries may require not just advanced technology, but evolved consciousness to decode. The questions we have explored: human achievement versus extraterrestrial guidance, lost ancient technologies versus inherited cosmic knowledge, conventional timelines versus prehistoric civilizations, remain suspended in the space between possibility and proof. Each piece of evidence we have examined adds weight to the mystery rather than resolving it, creating a puzzle that grows more complex rather than clearer with each new discovery. Perhaps this perpetual mystery serves a purpose beyond our current understanding. The pyramids may function not as repositories of hidden answers, but as generators of essential questions that drive human consciousness toward greater possibilities. Each generation that grapples with their mysteries develops capabilities and awareness that would remain dormant without such cosmic challenges to inspire transcendence. The mathematics encoded in stone continues its silent teaching, offering lessons in cosmic principles to any intelligence sufficiently developed to perceive the relationships between earthly architecture and universal constants. These stone textbooks remain open, waiting for students ready to learn the advanced curriculum they offer in cosmic mathematics and consciousness development. The astronomical alignments maintain their stellar connections, pointing toward cosmic destinations that may represent not just mythological afterlife journeys, but actual navigation coordinates for consciousness, ready to transcend terrestrial limitations. The pyramids may serve as permanent installations for consciousness development, designed to remain active across cosmic timescales. The precision of construction continues to challenge human assumptions about ancient capabilities while demonstrating standards of perfection that inspire ongoing attempts to match achievements that may represent the intersection of human consciousness with cosmic intelligence. These monuments stand as proof that remarkable achievements remain possible regardless of current technological limitations. The silence that surrounds the pyramid complex tonight is not the silence of death or abandonment, but the profound quiet of patient waiting. These monuments exist in a state of readiness, maintaining their systems and preserving their information while waiting for civilization to develop the consciousness capable of full understanding and communication. The desert wind that carries sand across the Pyramid Plateau has witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, the birth and death of empires, the advance and retreat of knowledge across thousands of years of human history. Yet through all these cycles of growth and decay, the pyramids have remained constant, outlasting everything human ambition has created while continuing their mysterious function. The tourists who visit during daylight hours see monuments to ancient achievement, marveling at engineering capabilities that challenge modern understanding. But the pyramids that emerge in desert darkness reveal themselves as something more profound installations that transcend historical categories to function as bridges between human consciousness and cosmic intelligence. The archaeological investigations that have probed pyramid mysteries for centuries have accumulated vast amounts of data while remaining essentially ignorant of the monument's true purpose and function. Each measurement, each analysis, each discovery adds to the growing realization that these structures exceed conventional understanding, while maintaining their secrets with infinite patience. The debates between orthodox and alternative researchers continue their academic battles, while the pyramids themselves remain above such human controversies, embodying truths that transcend the limitations of either conventional or speculative interpretations. The monuments exist in a realm beyond human theoretical frameworks, waiting for consciousness capable of direct comprehension. The mathematical relationships that connect pyramid design to cosmic constants continue their eternal function, providing precise information about universal principles to any intelligence capable of reading the equations written in stone. These architectural formulas remain active, processing cosmic mathematics through geometric forms that encode universal knowledge. The chambers that once may have housed consciousness transfer technologies or served as interfaces for cosmic communication maintain their geometric perfection and environmental properties ready to resume their function when human consciousness develops the capability to activate and operate such systems. The missing capstone continues to represent all the crucial elements of understanding that remain absent from human comprehension, reminding us that essential pieces of the pyramid puzzle may still lie beyond our perceptual reach or technological capability to discover and integrate. The question of extraterrestrial involvement in pyramid construction remains suspended in the space between possibility and proof, maintaining its power to challenge human assumptions about our place in the cosmos, while inspiring consciousness toward greater possibilities for cosmic connection and understanding. The hidden chambers yet to be explored continue to hold their secrets, promising revelations that may transform our understanding of ancient achievement while demonstrating that the pyramids retain mysteries sufficient to challenge multiple generations of future investigators with ever deeper levels of cosmic curriculum. As the first light of dawn begins to touch the eastern horizon, preparing to begin another day of human speculation and investigation, the pyramids prepare to resume their patient teaching, offering lessons in cosmic principles to any consciousness ready to transcend the limitations of conventional understanding and embrace possibilities that connect human achievement with universal intelligence. The desert holds its secrets as it has for millennia, but perhaps the ultimate secret is not hidden within the monuments themselves, but waiting to emerge within human consciousness. When we develop the awareness necessary to recognize our cosmic destiny and our connection to the intelligence that may have guided these achievements toward purposes we have yet to comprehend. In the growing light of morning, the pyramids stand ready to begin another day of their eternal function, challenging human consciousness to transcend its limitations while preserving cosmic knowledge for the moment when humanity develops the wisdom necessary to unlock the mysteries that have waited patiently in stone for thousands of years, maintaining their vigil between Earth and stars.